Joe Biden's 80 and a liar. Daughter shower fantasies, laundering money through the Ukraine. Now the whole country's on fucking fire. Filled with catastrophe, everything so fake and gay. Joe's burning this place to the ground while making mumbling sounds.
For people that bad at healthcare.
Oh, retarded like he has downs, octogenarian clown.
I'll either be rolling an egg or being the
Biden's got Alzheimer's. Biden's got Alzheimer's. This country's on fire. The president has Alzheimer's. Somebody else has gotta be pulling the strings. 10% for the big guy. He weaponized the DOJ. So retarded he forgot his own damn name.
We can only re-elect Donald Trump.
Leader of the Western world, always sniffing little boys and girls. Joe's burning this place to the ground while making mumbling sounds.
True international effort to pressure.
Oh, retarded like he's got downs, octogenarian clown.
Shanga Koala.
Biden's got Alzheimer's. Biden's got Alzheimer's. The country's literally on fire. The president has Alzheimer's. Everything he says is fucking lies. Only $700 for Hawaiians. It was funny when he fell off his bike. Inappropriate showers with his youngest girl. This country's now a dystopian world, and he's gonna let it burn, baby, burn, baby, burn.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to excuse me.
Biden's got Alzheimer's. Biden's got Alzheimer's. The country's on fucking fire. The president has Alzheimer's.
What are they doing inside of the tunnels? Probably trafficking boys and girls. You know they have plans to get this song banned because they control every platform in the world. They will call you an anti-Semite if you don't want to bomb kids in Palestine. Tom McDonald's a faggot, his shit is so cringe it's hilarious. Maybe these gay fucking liberals are right. I gotta give Ben Shapiro some credit, that boomer cash, you know he's gonna get it. Zionism is gay, I said it, suck my dick, call me anti-Semitic. Where are white American men at? Remember when our government had those? They've been taken down, they've all been replaced by men with small hats and a big nose. MAGA rap is gay and cringe, it fucking blows. Baby boomers, send your tax dollars to Israel. Having gay sex is even less gay than Tom McDonald. What kind of faggot would listen to music featuring Ben Shapiro? Why do we have to pretend to act like there's nothing up with the Jews? Building tunnels under the streets, controlling the treasury, cutting off your baby's meat, letting immigrants to replace you. Ben Shapiro hates you, and Tom McDonald is a gay dude. They're a couple real fags, and their content sucks ass. Instead, you should listen to the fucking Ryan Harkness show on YouTube.
Let's look at the stats. Israel attacked the USS Liberty, that is a fact. On my Twitter, I tweet out photos of snacks. A barbecue brisket so charred and so black. Look in the tunnels, what do you see? Mattresses covered in blood, poop, and pee. Performed circumcisions would not go to prison because they filled up all the holes with concrete. They hating on me on the internet, my comment section all woke Karens. Except those kids in the Gaza Strip, the IDF killed your parents. Boomers are retarded, so I grift them for cash. Wet ass pussy is a banger, and my gay song sucks ass.
MAGA rap is gay and cringe, it fucking blows. Baby boomers, send your tax dollars to Israel. Having gay sex is even less gay than Tom McDonald. What kind of faggot would listen to music featuring Ben Shapiro? Why do we have to pretend to act like there's nothing up with the Jews? Building tunnels under the streets, controlling the treasury, cutting off your baby's meat, letting immigrants to replace you. Ben Shapiro hates you, and Tom McDonald is a gay dude. They're a couple real fags, and their content sucks ass. Instead, you should listen to the fucking Ryan Harkness show on YouTube. It's sad, it's sad, it's sad. They're always trying to convince you carpet bombing Gaza's rad. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat. They circumcised me and my uncle, my big brother, and my dad. It's sad, it's sad, it's sad. If I could only have my foreskin back, it would make me so glad. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat. Now every time girls look at my clipped penis, they just point and laugh. Why do we have to pretend to act like there's nothing up with the Jews? Building tunnels under streets, controlling the treasury, cutting off your baby's meat, letting immigrants to replace you. Ben Shapiro hates you, and Tom McDonald is a gay dude. They're a couple real fags, and their content sucks ass. Listen to the Ryan Harkness show before he gets kicked off of YouTube.
This is not funny.
You know, it's become a joke, and that's the last thing we want.
I've been smelling my hole. I just got a sex change. It's already infected. It smells like shit and decay. Really good chance I'm gonna take my life one day. At least I'll get more attention than all those normie gays. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to when a creature like me believes that it's true that he could just wake up and not be a dude. But he is. Oh, he is living as a new girl with a Y chromosome. You ask which men can be women, I'll tell you which can. The ones that trade their pole for a hole, and that hole really stinks, and it's covered in goo, and it smells like a combo of roadkill and poop. If I don't dilate it, it will heal shut and fill in. Tell me which man can be women. There's a global mission to turn peepees to giners. They'll do it to minors, they don't care. Lord, I got gigantic feet, but I cut off my beak. Both my butt cheeks are covered in hair. Still got an Adam's apple the size of a planet. My name used to be Craig, but I changed it to Janet. Got brainwashed by the internet, left holding the bag. I cut my penis off, I could have just been a fag. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to when a creature like me believes that it's true that he can just wake up and not be a dude. But he is, oh he is, living as a new girl with a Y chromosome. You ask which man can be women, I'll tell you which can. The ones that trade their pole for a hole, and that hole really stinks, and it's covered in goo, and and it smells like a combo of roadkill and poop. If I don't dilate it, it will heal shut and fill in. Tell me which man can be where man. I've been smelling my hole. I got a sex change, and now I regret it. I should have just been fucking gay. Just been fucking gay.
I have a competition in me. I want no one else to succeed. I hate most people.
Now let's blow some shit up.
A listener named Ryan Harkness, he hit one out of the park.
Bunch of slap-jawed faggots around here. This stuff will make you a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus. Just like me.
I can't see without his glasses.
1 minute we're laughing, and the next minute he's dead. Why would God let this happen?
37. My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks.
In a row?
Listen up, Tampa Bay. Hollywood Hulk Hogan here.
I think I ate the bones. I ate the bones. I ate the bones.
Sinkhole. Sinkhole.
I spit on your spit.
I piss on your spit.
I shit on your piss.
I fart on your shit.
I laugh at your fart. We are friends again. That's right, motherfuckers, I'm back!
I spit on your spit. I spit on your spit.
Modulating in this bitch! We are friends again! Hey! And welcome back to the Ryan Harkness Show, ladies and gentlemen, the triumphant grand return of your boy, me, your host with the most, Ryan Harkness, back from a long fucking hiatus. Yeah, it's been a long time, and I shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step two, icky, step two, icky, something, some other shit. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to me. Glad to be back, and we got a fucking jam-packed show for you tonight. Okay, that's enough. Like I said, this is the Ryan Harkness Show, everybody. Thank you for tuning in on either of the three platforms that I am streaming on X, on YouTube at youtube.com/at Harkness Show, I think it is. Not really big on the YouTubes anymore. If you can only watch live on YouTube because I say things like and it, and you can't say that on YouTube. If somebody was to see that on a replay, I would get my channel wiped out. So only YouTube's pretty much a backup streaming platform, live only for me, and then I delete the episodes afterwards to maintain my channel. But I am mainly on the Rumble platform, rumble.com/Ryan Harkness Show, but you guys knew that already. Thank you for tuning in. It has been 2 long weeks, I think. That's right, I told you guys before I left, I said, I'm taking a break from the internet, and I was kind of nebulous and vague about it. That wasn't a lie. I did take a break from the internet. I took a break from work and everything because my family took me to Scotland for my 40th birthday party. Absolute surprise to me. The coolest birthday present I've ever had. But yeah, that's where I went just for OPSEC purposes. I was like, oh, I'm just taking a break from the internet. But I left my home, left the country, and this 1,500 or so people tune into this thing every week, and I cannot trust every single one of those people with knowing my home is, well, it wasn't empty. There was somebody here, and they were well armed and capable of a house sitter. So it's not like you could have gotten away with anything anyway, but it's just smart to be a little vague when you're leaving your house for vacation, let alone the country. I'm not going to belabor or bore you with the details of my vacation because it's my vacation. You guys don't really give a fuck. I'm never interested in hearing about other people's vacations, but it wasn't my first time leaving the United States. It was my first time traversing the Atlantic Ocean and going to the continent of Europe. Never done that before, and I'd like to just open up with a few things about maybe from a political perspective, what it's like leaving the United States and going to another couple countries. Well, how many countries are in this country? 4. And in 2024. And it was eye-opening. It was a wonderful trip. So let me get into that. First off, by the way, this is the Ryan Harkness Show. It is a fully listener-supported program. Thank you for tuning in. You could monetarily support the program by going to buymeacoffee.com/Harkness Show. You could leave me a little tip, and I will read whatever comment that you leave me on air. It could be derogatory. You could call me a faggot. Whatever. I would love to read it and take your money. And make sure you follow me on Twitter at @RyanHarkness_. P.O. Box is up there if you want to send me any gifts, trinkets, or cash that I will be sure to report directly to the government and the IRS. But if you don't have any buccarinos to spare to throw me, you could just share out the link to the show. Let me see if I can find out who did that. I always like to start out by giving thanks. We got Max Livity, of course, Conspiracy Extremist, Spacey Casey, Professor Grass, and anybody else that I'm missing. I am. Maybe Fuckstick Derp. But thank you guys. Again, you can just share out the link to the show. That is free, and the thummies and all that kind of shit is free as well. Make sure you like and follow. You might be able to hear my cat in the background screaming. But let me tell you a little bit about the Scotland deal. Again, it was quite eye-opening going to a... Hold on a sec. Had to yell at my cat. God damn, he's mewing in the back. I want to talk about like the dope things about Scotland and the not so dope things, why I think America's better, what's cool about Scotland. It was a beautiful country, beautiful trip. It was cold as fuck. I did not know Scotland was that cold in the summertime. It hovered around... The weather is fucking erratic as fuck there. It rained, it was sunny, it was cloudy and cold, and it dipped down into like the 40s and probably got up to high 60s at the warmest, maybe 70. That was a nice little break from Florida weather. I told you I was going to throw my phone in the trash. I absolutely did. I did not tweet. I did not look at the internet, anything whatsoever internet-oriented. I kept my phone off the whole time. I didn't even answer business phone calls or anything. I left a message that said I'm going to be out of commission for a little while. Leave me a message, and I'll get back on the 10th or whatever and take care of you then. But did not touch the phone, which is a beautiful thing. I recommend you do that every now and then in this modern age, whether or not you're leaving. The internet sucks, and to be constantly embedded in it is shitty. So that was great, just putting the phone down. Again, you don't even have to leave the country to do that. What rules about Scotland and what sucks? What sucks is I can't do a Scottish accent, even though I am ethnically Scottish. I got a list of stuff. Of course, you guys know I enjoy my scotch. Did go to a little distillery is what they call it, and had a scotch tasting. They made sure to let us know that they don't call it scotch there. It's just whiskey there. Scotch, we don't call it scotch. It's just whiskey. They kind of consider it the only whiskey there. That was fun. One thing that we went to the largest, or the capital, I guess, Edinburgh, which is a dope fucking city with amazing architecture. I'll get into that in a little bit, how, in America, this postmodern hellscape that and I've been to big cities in America. Chicago is probably the biggest city that I've ever been. Nothing that I've ever seen comes close to like the hundreds of years of work of building cathedrals and the architecture and the sculptures and shit. We don't really have a lot of that stuff here. So that was cool to see.
In Scotland, there are absolutely no convenience stores, at least not where I went. There's no 7-Elevens, there's no Circle K's, there's no Wawas or anything like that. And I think that contributes to why maybe, Scottish people are, by and large, not as fat as Americans are. And another thing that I notice is if you do manage to get your hands on like an energy drink or something, say a Red Bull, if you look at the ingredients list is way shorter over there, because I don't think they allow like a lot of the bullshit that we allow as far as dyes and preservatives and chemicals and shit. That's something that I noticed. That's a point for Scotland and a L for the United States, that we allow them to just fucking poison us. I saw one homeless person when I was in Edinburgh, and he was nicely dressed, and he could have been lying about being homeless and panhandling. So they don't have homeless people. They don't really have cops. I saw maybe one cop, not even in the city. I didn't see any cops. That's a purely American thing, I believe, having cops on every fucking corner and it basically being an industry to collect revenue off of tickets and shit like that. So no cops. One thing that sucks is this doesn't suck. I actually like this. Most of the vehicles, we had to rent a car, obviously. They're all manual, stick shift, which I like. I learned how to drive on a stick shift, so that's not a problem. However, you drive on the fucking left side of the road, which is very odd, and the wheel is on the right, therefore on the right side of the vehicle, and in a stick, it's now your left hand. So it's inversed sides of the road, and you have to learn how to drive stick with your left. That was a little fucking weird. And the roads suck dick there. They're tiny, they're skinny. The speed limit, there are no speed limits, basically. When you're in like a municipal area, they'll have some posted speed limits, but other than that, it's just fucking go as fast as you want, and it is fucking scary. It kind of reminded me of driving in like the mountains of North Carolina or something like that, and sometimes there's two-way traffic, but just one lane. So it'll go down to like one lane, and it's like, oh, figured it out when the other one's coming. It's like a game of Scottish chicken, and that was very anxiety-inducing. So we definitely have better roads here. So cops, the microwaves are useless. They don't work at all. You have to like manually put in the power setting every time you use a microwave. And compared to like a 7-Eleven microwave that will set a Hot Pocket on fire in like 15 seconds, these fucking things, you could probably, you could put a cup of water to make a tea in there or something. It would take all day. It would not work. So microwaves suck. And the shittiest thing about Scotland was I could not have my gun, which is pretty much the same everywhere other than the United States. I like keeping that thing on me at all times, so it was very, it was stepping into new territory, leaving my gun in another country, and just going out into the city and shit without protection. But there's a caveat to that. Everybody in Scotland is white, and they look like me. Everybody. London is a different deal because that's where our plane landed. But Scotland is just inundated with white people. I think that's where all the rich British people go to retire, is in Scotland. And then there's Scottish people, and that's it. So that was fucking amazing, feeling like you're not a minority, even though it's not my country. In America, I don't know what that is anymore. I think whites are like 60% of the population and dropping precipitously. I'm not truly adverse to the whole melting pot thing, but when our borders are slapped wide open and the white population is being monitored by the ADL or the Southern Poverty Law, SPLC. It's working. And you see far fewer white people in my own country of the United States. And it was a nice change to go to a country where they had, like, Scottish TV is all about Scotland and being Scottish. And everybody's white on there. And everybody in the city was fucking white and skinny and healthy and happy. And I think that's why they can slough off the fact that you can't have a gun. Like, people from other countries are like, oh, you fucking Americans and your cowboy cavalier mentality where you have to run around with a pistol strapped to you and shit like that. You guys from other countries don't know what it's like in America. We are a dangerous country with a bunch of people that do recently don't share our values and aren't like us and look at us. I'm not even talking about just white people, but Americans with American culture as the other. So you kind of need one in the United States. I did not feel like I needed one over there. Call me crazy, but I was surrounded by peaceful white people. So I could see how they're like, oh, you Americans and your fucking gun lust. It's retarded. I get why they say that, but live in, I don't know, a large American city, Mr. Scotty, for a month or two and see how it is. It's very different over here. So that was one of the most eye-opening things, is going to another country and realizing what it's like to no longer be the minority or soon to be minority. And it felt fucking good. I liked being around white people that looked like me. I'm sorry. I don't know if that makes me a bigot or a piece of shit. It was just a nice feeling. And I think we should be able to have that feeling. Depending on where you live or whatever, you want to live with your own ilk, that's fine. But increasingly, I think that's the biggest takeaway that I got from my trip to Scotland, is how wonderful it is to be surrounded by people of your own race, and how nice that felt. When we landed in London, it's a different fucking ball game there. That place is more browned up than even the United States. Like, when I got off the plane in London, it was like, oh, God. Nary a white person, almost. I'd say their population in the airport, at least, was maybe 20% white people there. And in Scotland, 100%, practically. But, yeah, that was the biggest takeaway from my trip to Scotland, is living around white people would be dope, and I hope to be able to do it one day. So, yeah, let's talk about some other shit. Probably that dovetail into this. Oh, I got a... so it turns out that I'm Scottish. I don't know if I mentioned that. That was kind of the impetus of going. My lady wanted to treat me to, because I always in passing mentioned, yeah, I'd like to go to Scotland, see what that's about, where my family came from and shit like that. Here's a note on the Harkness family, and somebody else told me this, and I looked it up, and it ends up being true, I guess. Let me see if I could open this up here. This little caption off of, just a cursory Google search. The surname Harkness was first found in Dumfriesshire, a southern area bordering on England that today forms a part of Dumfries and Galloway. Up to the end of the 16th century, notices of the name connect it with Annandale and subsequently Nithsdale, blah, 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 blah. But the good part is... okay, there in Thornhill, there are several tombstones of persons of this name who were mostly tenants of the farms of Locherben and Mitchelslacks in the parish of Closebom and Hollistein in that of Dunshire. Here we go. James Harkness of Locherben was the leader of the band of Covenanters, and this is a real thing, who rescued some Covenanters. Now, Covenanters were Scottish independence fighters who were at war with the Royal British, and they were anti-British government and fought and did some ops for Scottish independence. That's I don't know where in the family tree James Harkness is, but he was the leader of that band of rebels. So he was the leader of the band of the Covenanters who rescued some Covenanters from the royal troops in the pass of Enterkin while being convoyed to Edinburgh for trial in 1684. So the Brits captured some of our Covenanters, and they were basically being taken to Edinburgh to be tried and executed. And Thomas here infiltrated that, or attacked that convoy, and I think they got popped too. But Thomas Harkness, brother and James, was subsequently executed in the Grass Market of Edinburgh in 1685 for having taken part in the matter. So they pulled an op. They attacked a convoy of people, British troops that were taking their homies to be tried and probably executed, and then they failed and got executed as well. But all that to say is I come from a line of people that hate and despise the government and will die for it. And I am carrying on that legacy by being a shit-posting podcaster. Absolutely the same thing. Here's a quick little let's say uplifting thing that I want to share with you guys, and it'll dovetail into something else. Check this out. Oh, this is from a Scottish lady as well.
Do you know what the most repeated phrase in the Bible is?
Bible.
The reoccurring message is repeated 365 times. Watch this.
Don't be afraid. Appears in the Bible many, many, many times. 365. I don't know if any other phrase is in the Bible as much as that. But just a little thing to put in your pocket and take with you. Don't be fucking afraid. That fear is what paralyzes us, keeps us from taking risks and doing shit that we know that we could, because you gotta roll the dice sometimes to make big moves, and you want to get to the end of your life and be like, ah, fuck, I was a bitch-made faggot, I should have done this, should have done that. All that stems from God's gift to you in terms of telling you 365 times not to be fucking afraid, you faggot. And if you don't believe in God, why did he give us this? This is a blast from the past. You could still watch this every day. I'm afraid we're forgetting about some really beautiful things that took place during the COVID era. Check this out, you guys. I know you've seen this before.
And I'm going to care, but
How can you not believe in a divine creator with an immaculate sense of humor when he gave us this?
Care, but I
Straight
want you
up.
to know, double vaxxed, booster, flu shot, and I'm going to be honest, I have the shingle shot too.
I know you guys have seen this a million times, but you almost forgot about it, didn't you?
And I still get my period. What? Yes! Traveled.
This
was
is the
in
greatest
Mexico
thing ever.
Twice, did shows, meet and greets. Never
I could do without the dumb music that they added in the background.
COVID. Clearly, Jesus loves me the most. Seriously.
Ooh.
So nice.
What are you feeling, lady? You feeling a little something coming on?
So nice.
Uh-oh. Oh, Lord.
Care, but I want you to know.
God damn. How can you guys forget that? How could we fucking forget this? I saw this pop up on my timeline and I was like, holy fuck. This happened. God is
So
real.
nice. So
Don't be
nice.
afraid. Just an old blast
care,
from the
but I want
past
you
that
to
I
know,
wanted to
double
remind you
vax.
guys fucking existed. And one more in that vein as well. Don't never forget. Never forget. I know that we apply that colloquialism to a lot of shit, but you guys remember when this happened?
Free fries when you get vaccinated? I got vaccinated. You're saying
because I think we're starting to, like, I mean, we have the memory of a goldfish, and we're moving on from this. The greatest crime perpetrated on humanity ever. Orders of magnitude more than anything else is this fucking scam.
Get this. These delicious fries. Wait a minute. But there's also a burger element to this?
Put an experimental gene therapy in your fucking arm multiple times, and you could get a $6 hamburger and some shitty fries.
Let me check with Bill Neathart. Is it too early in the day to eat a burger? No. This could be breakfast?
No quarter for these people. No forgiveness.
I want you to look at this and think
never.
about, again, some people love hamburgers, some don't. Really want to respect all ways of life. But if this is appealing to you, just think of this when you think of vaccination. Vaccination. I'm getting a very good feeling about vaccination right this moment. Free fries when you get vaccinated?
This is still unbelievable to me. I can't believe we haven't hanged people for this shit. So I know you guys have seen this shit again and again and again, but I forgot about it. I've kind of gone on with my life, and I certainly haven't forgiven, but I don't want you guys to forget this shit either. Never fucking forget. Oh, and by the way, Max Livity with a big $50. Happy Father's Day, fag. Happy Father's Day to you guys, too. I should have wished you guys a happy Father's Day. Thank you, Max Livity, for the 50 spot, kicking us off. And that reminds me, you know, I'm not big on selling myself monetarily. I just try to do a good show. I provide it to you guys for free. And if you're cool like Max Livity, you'll throw me a tip every now and then to make me, you know, motivate me to maybe try a little harder or do more shows or whatever. The biggest donator of the night, if we get to the modest $100 goal, some of you might know me as somewhat of a parody song guy. I do live ones on this show off the dome with instrumentation that I make with loops on my mouth, and I will do one on whatever the largest donator that helps us get to that $100 goal wants me to do it on. And Max Livity's pretty good at not only supporting the show, but like coming up with those ideas too. And by the way, I didn't mention that I accept Rumble Rants. So Max lets you guys know that he does that that we do that as well. And Buy Me a Coffee is another venue to support the program. Let me check, make sure none of those came in. I think we're all cut up. So thank you, Max, for the 50 spot, and happy Father's Day to all you faggots as well. All right, that's the COVID shit. I know you guys have seen that again and again and again, but I felt like we were, I don't know, forgetting about it. And we can't forget about that stuff. Never fucking forget what they did to us. Okay, what's next? This is kind of sad news, guys. Alex Jones is getting thrown possibly off the air. Let's check this out.
I've been gaslit. I've had secret federal filings follow me that I'm committing crime.
Now, I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, he calls the you-know-what's Chinese techno-fascists. All right. Well, if he wasn't over the mark in some way or another, they wouldn't be coming down this hard on him.
Referred to the Justice Department.
Deserves a little bit
which of course wasn't
respect
true.
for
They already
that.
filed it in federal court months before. They didn't even check this shit. If you're going to fucking frame...
So I started listening to this. It was arbitrarily. I think this was like a week and a half or so. Actually, it might have been right before I left. So almost 2 weeks ago. I just tuned into InfoWars on a whim. I don't listen to it too much, but I was out of shit to listen to. Put on the Alex Jones show, and I heard him dropping fucking fucks and motherfuckers and all this shit. I was like, holy fuck, Alex is lit right now. What's going on? It turns out that they have parlayed the gajillion dollar Sandy Hook civil lawsuit into, we're just going to liquidate all your asses assets, lock your doors, and the government is going to shut down your business, stifle your First Amendment, and we just wanted that in the first place. We didn't really want to civilly sue you and give comeuppance to the Sandy Hook victims, which everybody knew that was bullshit anyway, but yeah, they are shutting him down. And I thought maybe this is a work. Maybe he's playing it up a little bit. I don't know if he's going to get into it, but I'll explain it if he doesn't.
You fucking lie about the goddamn federal court with the fucking know it's already filed the goddamn court, you bastard. So fuck you. And fuck anybody else that tries to go on your shit.
I knew something was going on because he's on like a bunch of AM radio stations too. A bunch of them that they play, certain hours of his show. So typically you're not allowed to say the naughty words that you can't do on terrestrial radio. And I heard the fucks and the motherfuckers. I was like, something is going on here.
You bastard. So fuck you. And fuck anybody else that tries to go on your shit. You want fucking war, you fucking got it. I told you one more fucking lie, and I was going to do this, all right? I tried to sustain this place. I didn't believe America was as corrupt as this. I didn't believe we were this fucked, and we are this fucked. This country is administratively got a bunch of scum in charge of it. That's why it's going down the tubes, and America and the whole world sees it. So you misjudged who I am, and any of your minions misjudged who I am, and you have no idea. No idea. So go ahead. Try to jerk off some operation to shut the doors here and do that and prove everything I said. It doesn't matter.
So what he's referencing, I don't think he gets in it, this clip. This clip's just cool because he's cutting a promo. But he's in bankruptcy, obviously, over the gajillion-dollar settlement that he is supposed to pay to the Sandy Hook families. When you go into bankruptcy, depending on what kind it is, the court appoints, like say if it's an incorporated business or something, they give you something called a CRO, I believe it is, a core reporting officer or some shit like that. And what they do is ensure that the business remains viable. They have a fiduciary responsibility, like a board member who would want the business to remain profitable for the shareholders. You, by law, have to not sabotage the business and make sure it's going well. Same rules apply to a CRO, the one that was appointed to him. It's a government employee, so it was an infiltrator, and this dude, like, they're able to work operationally within your business as well. He tried to padlock the doors to InfoWars. He just called a bunch of sponsors. I think something like, I don't know, several hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe more, of sponsors, and they're like, we're not going to work with you anymore. He's just fucking melting down all kinds of components of InfoWars and Alex's business, which is illegal, and it doesn't really matter because the law doesn't really matter anymore.
And I don't sit there and make threats. I make promises. I haven't had time yet to dig it out of my phone. And you will, at the end of the day, know that Alex Jones, the American patriot, defeated your evil ass. You guys want to comment?
Well, I'll just say.
Well, I guess that's it. But yeah, they're shutting Alex down. I thought it was a work. It's apparently not. Yeah, I think I'm sorry to the YouTube people. I don't look in that chat too often, but I think we have somebody. Oh, maybe this is a Twitter person. Because it's showing up on a different chat. Filth Fetish Vids. It's terrible what's happening to him. They are saying the fans harass the victims, but he never instructed anyone to do that. Yeah, I know. It's a railroad job. Filth Fetish Vids, are you on Twitter? I'm just curious because I don't know where you're watching from, and I've never really got Twitter chats before. Just curious if you let me know if you're still watching. But yeah, he's getting fucked. I got some more stuff on this. It's really weird, the not so constitutionally shit that's going on in the country between the Alex Jones thing, the Trump conviction of a zillion fucking felonies, not one of which that I could, if you had a gun to my head, I could not tell you what any of those charges are or mean or anything. You'd think if somebody was being charged with all these felonies and they were actually serious, you could easily articulate whatever, one of them is, but I don't know. So yeah, a lot of weird fucking just un-American shit going on right now. Alex had Tucker Carlson on, and let me just give you the good stuff, at least before they shut. And Alex is going to be fine. Yes, on Twitter. Thank you, Filth Fetish Vids. Funny name, by the way. He got Tucker on before we're going to shut him down. And what I was going to say is, Alex is going to be fine. He is a big enough, I say legacy name, not in terms of legacy media or anything, but he is at this point a legacy in and of himself. So he can, maybe they can, because it shows that they don't really give a fuck about laws and the rules or anything like that. They might just shut him down on going on other people's podcasts, or maybe say, hypothetically, I wanted to give Alex Jones a platform. He's like, hey, Ryan, I'm going to go on the Ryan Harkness show and do a segment so I can speak to the American people. X might ban me if I had Alex on, or YouTube might ban me with an algorithm just listening to see if he could hear his voice, shit like that. And that is a pretty fucking scary stifling of somebody's free. And remember, when this all happened, FilthVid said, this is apparently because they were like, Alex Jones incited his listeners to harass the Sandy Hook victims or whatever, which is, it's not true in and of itself. You can listen to the tapes, and if one person can pull up a tape where Alex Jones is telling his listeners, go fuck with these crisis acting faggots or something like that, do violence upon this specific person, because that's the limitations of free speech. You can't say, hey, I want the rest of the listeners to go beat up Max fucking Livity. He lives on 864 Dingle Butt Drive. That's not allowed, and it shouldn't be. But that, in my opinion, is the only fucking limitation to free speech that should be. I kind of get that one, but he never fucking did that at all. He did have Tucker on. Let me pull up the juicy shit that was on Tucker.
We feel so calm, so good. It's amazing. So in the time we have left here, this is an incredible interview. I literally wrote 60 plus questions, and I've gotten about 10 of them. But let's shift gears back into one of the few questions I asked your crew for, because we don't pre-program these interviews. But I said, what's something Tucker wants to talk about? Saving civilization, saving humanity. We've already kind of talked a lot about that, but specifically, let's speak to how do we stop World War III, and then the election, the lawfare, everything backfiring on the establishment. My concern is, what are they going to pull? Well, right on time, the bird flu. They're trying to relaunch that. Right on time, they're saying terrorists are about to attack after they open the borders up. Right on time, they're trying to accelerate the war with Russia. Clearly, they're going to pull some October surprise. What do you think that is?
I don't know what it is. My instinct for 2 years has been that the war in Ukraine, the U.S. war against Russia, will change world history and certainly change American history, and will have an effect on this election. I really think that's the biggest thing happening right now. And there are a lot of big things happening, but that's the only one with the potential to kill us all in the next 3 months. So
it really is fucking. It is weird to think that. We've had it pretty fucking good in the United States as far as, they say, who was it, Mao or somebody who is a Ching Chong said, you'll never be able to attack U.S. mainland because behind every blade of grass is an American with a rifle or whatever. Geographically, we're so strategically fucking perfect to defend against war that we've been riding on that wave and the wave of our prosperity and shit like that for quite a while. So you know, even though there was, let's say, Vietnam and then then Korea before that, and then all the Middle East stuff that's just been a milieu of gay bullshit, and that's been our war career since then. Nothing has ever been 9/11 aside, but there's plenty to fucking disagree with as far as the main narrative goes. There's not been anything that's like really threatened us until Joe Biden got into office and told Ukraine to join NATO, sent fucking Kamala Harris over there and gave a speech that's like, yes, you guys need to join NATO, which is against the rules. We have had one fucking thing. It's like, no, you cannot fucking put Ukraine in NATO. It's tantamount to Russia putting nukes in Cuba. And we immediately broke that, and now we're closer than ever to fucking actually catching some hot ones. Some thermonuclear ones. By the way, Mary Jane with a dub says, welcome home. It's good to be home. Welcome. It's good to be home, Mary Jane. Thank you for the dub. And you could go to buymeacoffee.com/Harkness Show. Rumble Rants are also available. You could be a badass like Mary Jane and contribute to the program. Again, if we get to the $100 goal, this is for all the people just tuning in now, $100 goal, you guys get an Off the Dome parody song about whatever you guys want. Thank you, Mary Jane, for the 20. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. And it's good to be home. It is really good to be home, actually. I know I shit on the United States a lot, and I did have a lovely time in Scotland. However, I would not want to live in any other country. If not, to be able to fucking own one of these bad boys. And, oh my God, it feels so good. It feels so good to be free and Floridian and American. Oh, God. I love my guns. I couldn't fucking give them up, man. I'd feel... And look, your right to own a firearm is given to you by God. God himself. So that it doesn't really matter if you're Scottish. Your right to defend yourself is given to you by God. And if your faggot government tells you you can't do that, doesn't mean that you can't own one of those bad boys and bury it in your massive fucking multi-acre backyard. But you don't really need one that bad there. You might need one pretty soon, that's for sure. But thank you, Mary Jane, for the welcome home. It's good to be home, if not just for that reason. To be in the free state of Florida and the free country that allows me to be an adult and have tools like rifles that I need, not only to defend myself against a tyrannical government, but I don't know, what if I want to kill a sheep with it? Scotland was dope, but America is still, despite all our faggotry, the dopest fucking country on the planet.
That will play a role in this election because, of course, wartime gives government wartime powers, and those are very different from peacetime powers. Abraham Lincoln, who I think was a good man in a lot of ways, but became, of course, a dictator in the middle of Civil War and suspended habeas corpus and detained people without charging them, and et cetera, et cetera. So even, I think, even decent men tend to become Winston Churchill, put the entire opposition party in prison with their...
Let me read a couple of these chats. Rube Magazine said, Ryan, are you familiar with Bill Cooper? Yeah, I know about Bill Cooper. He's got some good stuff for sure. But another thing that I noticed is moshing for Christ. This is a Jewish conspiracy. There, just saved you 25 years of listening to Alex Jones. Yeah, I get it, bro. I mean, he was married to a fucking Jew, and he doesn't spurg out as heavily as like the GDL and say everything's the fucking Jews, but he objectively has shit on Israel to an extent that I think he's being fair enough. Ryan doxed you earlier. What do you mean? Oh yeah, Dingleberry Lane. Yeah. Sorry, Max. Everybody's fucking coming for you now. Go. Listen. I want all my soldiers. Go visit Max Livity at 420 Dingleberry Lane, Massachusetts, or Kentucky, either one of those, and fucking light his ass up. You hear me, Max? We are fucking coming for you. You are doxxed, buddy. I got this gun out because let me put that on safe just in case, because this is my workspace, and I got a new LPVO, a low-powered variable optic from. I actually got this from a tweet, or I bought it because of a tweet. I know maybe some of you guys have seen that Mr. Gunslinger nigga on Twitter. He tweeted out a dope deal on this, what was a $500 scope, and I got it for fucking like less than half of that. Let me see. I don't know if I could do it, but it's basically a 1:8, so it goes from no magnification to 8, which I like. I like low magnification scopes, and I want to put it on that AK. Now, a lot of you probably saw that, and you're like, that's an AK-47. No, that is not an AK-47. This is, and you can tell from the magazine, see how it's not so banana-y? I don't even think you could do this on YouTube. I racked one too. Look, I don't know if that's against the YouTube rules or not. It doesn't really matter because I'm going to delete the stream. But 74, not 47. 47 has the more banana-y magazine. See how that one's a little bit straighter, like an AR? When you guys think AKs, you usually think AK-47. This is a 74, and I'll show you the difference. You guys are used to, see this fat boy? This big fat round? I can't, it's not focusing. Oh, it's not going to do it. Hold on. No. All right, the camera's not doing it. But you guys are used to this big one. This is a 7.62 by 39. That's what goes in my AK-47. This is .545 by 39, folks. Look at the difference. I don't know if you can see the difference here. This is the big brother on the right here. This is the skinny boy on the left. It sucks that I can't show the fucking difference to those. But yeah, a lot of people don't know the difference between, there you go, an AK-47 and an AK-74. The skinny one is the 74, and the fat one is the 47. 7.62 by 39 for the old school AKs, and this new shit, well, newer, it was invented in 1974, is what Russia uses today. It's a kind of Russia's version of our 5.56. It's smaller, so you could hold more of them. It's super fast and spicy, and that's my fighting gun, and that's why I want to put this bad boy on it. Let me see if I could, again, this is a 1, so no magnification to 8. I don't know if I'll be able to do this. Let me see if I could put this in the camera. It's got an illuminated reticle. I'm sorry I'm doing gun talk now. I'm probably going to lose like half the people that don't like guns, but I think some of you do. Let me see if I could show this reticle. This is going to be hard in the camera. Hold on. Fucking camera. I can't get it to focus on anything. But it's got a cool fucking reticle in it. So it's kind of like a red dot and a scope at the same time on no magnification. And this is how I like to shoot. I like to keep both eyes open. And I kind of get the quick target acquisition with my left eye, my non-dominant eye. and then I just, both eyes open, match that up to the other one. I like this scope, and I can't wait to put it on that rifle. I just need like a few more things. I got a nice mount for it. I just don't have the right rings yet, some decent rings, but those are in the mail, and I should get that fucker set up pretty soon here. I'm sorry I went on gun talk, but Mary Jane said welcome home, and I had to tell you my favorite reason why I'm home, which is guns. I'm a gun fag, for sure.
For the duration of the Second World War. I don't think Churchill was the most evil man in history. I think that's an evil thing to do. And so even good people can become fascist during wartime, and almost always do. So that's something to remember, I think. As to what we can do about it, well, we can do what we're doing, which is to try and tell the truth without fear as clearly as we can, as thoughtfully as we can, as non-hysterically, as persuasively as we can. But I think the main thing that we can do is recognize our inability to really do anything because we're not in charge, actually. And so what you can do is become a better person, a more virtuous person, and say your freaking prayers. I really believe that. I think that. Because at a certain point, like, countries get what they want. And if, all of a sudden you wake up in a country where, a lot of people are convinced it's more virtuous to abort a child than to have a child, if people are convinced that, like, war with Russia is somehow really important because Neville Chamberlain bad or whatever, it's hard to stop that. It is. It's hard to stop that. And so you really need to appeal to a higher power because your power is limited. Like, I tell myself this all the time. Like, something will happen, I'll get completely outraged. Oh, I got to talk about this. And then part of me says, but don't fool yourself. Like, talking about things is not, in the end, the same as, like, commanding an army or being God. Like, your power is limited. And so I think it's important to appeal to a higher power. If this is a spiritual war, and clearly it is, I have a lot of thoughts on this, but I've just tried to contain it to, like, the logical unpacking of it. I don't see what else it could be other than a spiritual war.
I agree that this is a spiritual war, and I know I'm gonna miss a lot of you atheist niggas with that shit, but, like, there's just too many fucking signs. The most jarring of which is, like, how classically satanic the opposition to good is portraying itself right now. Like, why do all the elites in the highest echelons of fucking the top of the Jew Illuminati pyramid, why are they all fucking sucking and fucking babies and killing them? Like, there's some kind of deal with call it Satan or an interdimensional fucking darkness entity or whatever the fuck it is. Like, they wouldn't be doing that unless you get something out of it, right? Like, those pain. And by the way, Pizzagate was fucking the ultimate fumble when it comes to boomers and the QAnon fucking faggot retards. Pizzagate was absolutely real. Pizzagate fucking the key points of it, the main elements are true. And when boomers and QAnon got a hold of it and they're like, oh, Hillary Clinton is fucking sucking adrenochrome out of baby dicks and shit, it just gets silly and then it's dismissed. But it's undeniable, like, those paintings, that weird fucking... It makes my skin crawl to think back to it, and they're just paintings of, like, kids in a tiled room. It looks like a bathroom almost with a fucking drain in it, and it's fluorescent lit. It's like, it's a good painting as far as, like, capturing the fucking evil of what's going on in there, but those paintings wouldn't exist if that horrible scenario hasn't played out several fucking times. Kids chained up. I don't even like to fucking talk about what is being portrayed in those fucking things. The Podesta, whoever painted that shit for them. Why do they so consistently turn to that? Why is that so fucking important to them? Like, when you're the highest paid congressperson in AIPAC, why do they always have a video of you fucking a baby to death? That's the main thing that makes me think that this is a spiritual battle, and the fucking Bible has nailed it. Like, it's fucking spaghetti monster in the fucking sky, man, cloud sky daddy. Why did people human beings who wrote this book thousands and thousands of years ago call the revelations that are happening now, like the mark of the beast, ties into the vaccine and possibly central bank digital currency? Like, the Bible is a pretty fucking good summation of human psychology. And those people weren't fucking retards that wrote that shit. Even if you want to look at it from a purely secular point of view, like, it's fucking pretty close to what's happening now. So I do think this is like a spiritual thing. And I do think we can't win. And I do think that you better get fucking right with God and get healthy and get yourselves a Strike Eagle 1 to 8 illuminated reticle vortex LPVO scope.
I think you're being very healthy, being humble, but you are doing something about it. That's why they want to stop you. I think we have to understand that individually, we can reach out to others. But I get your point. So looking at this.
Oh, you mean that still frame? Yeah, it did look like he was ready for a dick, Max. Why am I being fucked in the ass? I don't know. Maybe Alex can explain why I'm being fucked on the ass. Who's fucking men in the ass? We should ask ourselves these questions.
We saw January 6th. You've really been the tip of the spear exposing that it was provocative.
I think it's faggots. Other people might call them gays, but I call them faggots.
And it's come out in Congress now. It's all been confirmed. The January 6th puppet committee has destroyed all their evidence because it showed the truth that they were engineering it. The new Pelosi video admitting they basically had to stand down. They wouldn't let the National Guard out.
What's up, ERA 8118?
We walked into a trap on that. And we saw Pelosi then with the military parades that she was they're inspecting, and the barbed wire and all of these really fascistic totalitarian things we saw. And now they're all over the news, as you know, saying they're training militias, right-wingers.
So in a minute, they're going to get into I believe the Trump shit, which I want to talk about. Since, I left 2 weeks ago, and a bunch of shit happened right before I left, and I couldn't do a show, right then. Right before I left, I did talk about it on the Kill Stream. Ralph was kind enough to have me on, and we shot the shit about it a little bit. But right before I left, and I couldn't do a show about it, Trump got charged with, and convicted rather, of 34 felonies, and I think they get into that.
Terrorists.
And I really agree with something that Tucker says regarding that.
They're pre-programming that, and just like with the fake Governor Whitmer kidnapping.
I'll be back. Don't go anywhere. Got to get a drink.
I know, because they've done this before, and they're telegraphing it, they're planning to try to trigger civil unrest that they bill as civil war. They've got the movies out. They've got it all pre-programmed. That's another one of my big concerns. What's your view on that?
Well, that's so obviously true. I mean, one of the many binaries, I think, in life is male, female, masculine, feminine, and they're two ways of fighting and communicating. And they're very different. In fact, they're poles. They're the opposite of one another. One is direct. That's, of course, the masculine form, and the other is indirect, and that's the female form. And the Democratic Party is, of course, a female party, and that's how they fight.
Democrats, are they faggots? Most people think that they are. I personally think that they are. And what are we going to do about the Democrats? Should we string them up? Should we hang all the faggots? People should be asking themselves these questions.
By when they hit you in the face and scream, "Stop punching me! Stop punching me!"
That's exactly what they do.
Fights. A man fights. He says, "What'd you do? I'm going to kick your ass," and then does it. Of course. And so January 6th was sort of in keeping with the way they approached the world. It was a passive aggressive action.
Cheers.
It was set this up, make it seem like the other guys are attacking, and then crush them. And so, of course, they don't change. That's who they are. They're feline, not canine. And they will do something very much like that, of course. But I don't think that should deter people from saying what they think is true and being bold in doing that. And So, for example, Trump is being sentenced on July 11th, so a week before the Republican convention, and they may remand him. They may send him right to jail. How should he respond to that? I mean, there are two ways to respond. One,
this is what I found interesting, because I thought about this before. When the government is truly captured in every branch, legislatively, we have AIPAC running our Congress, and we'll get into that later with the Thomas Massie stuff. Practically, and follow what's it called, AIPAC Tracker on Twitter. They do God's work. Somebody's going to be like, oh, they're leftist faggots or whatever. Yeah, whatever. They still do good work. They point out and track exactly how much money AIPAC is given to every single congressperson and House of Representatives. Awesome shit. So legislatively, we're captured. Executively, obviously captured. Judicially, like, America has the greatest justice system on the planet. Nothing ever fucking compares to it. Look what the fuck's happening now. So when you know all these fucking systems are a sham, what do you do when you know that they're gonna come? What are you gonna do when they come for you? Do you go, okay, I'll go through my day in court, or do you do this?
Is by, doing what they say, doing a press conference from jail. They're persecuting me. The other way, and I can't recommend the better way, but there is another way, which is to say, no, this is completely legitimate.
No.
I'm not going to jail.
The N-word. No.
This is a fake crime. You never would have indicted me for it if I hadn't been challenging your power. If I wasn't running for president, I wouldn't be sentenced to jail right now. That's just a fact. Everyone knows that's true. This whole process is a sham. I don't believe in your system. My ancestors created this system, and you've taken it over somehow and perverted it into something unrecognizable. And I'm not playing along. I'm not actually going to jail. So why don't you make me? And that.
So what does that mean when you say? Because I really do think that the people making these decisions are pussy faggots who are in positions that they are on no merit of their own, and they're like, I think this is a long shot, but I think it's gonna work. Let's hit the button, and they hit the button. What would happen if you said no? Well, you got to come to Mar-a-Lago and get me. Do it, faggot. What if he did that? I would like to think I would do that. But the thing is, what does the N-word, no, not is the most powerful word in the English language. And people hear the word no and they think, well, I don't like it, or I'm not going to do it. They don't think to the end of that conclusion of what the word no really means. No means under any fucking circumstances am I going to let you do this. And that means up to and including death. Period. That's the only real no. Anything less than that is not really a no. It's a maybe. It's a I don't want it, but I guess. The only no is a no that you're willing to fucking die for. So play it out. What if Trump says, nah, you're all faggots and I'm not doing this. This is a sham. I'm locking myself in Mar-a-Lago. And what does it mean then? Mar-a-Lago has, I don't know anything about Mar-a-Lago, but I assume maybe some gates or a fence around it. Because who do they send first? Any minions of the state are going to be the police department or, feds, people with guns to traverse your fence and come get you. Do you put out a message to them that say, hey, look, fine law enforcement officers of whatever county, Florida, you're now acting as minions of a captured government, and if you hop over my fence, you're going to get some fucking lead thrown at you. Period. Because I'm not playing along. That's what no means in that context. And how it would play out when it comes to Trump, I don't really know. But that's what that means to me.
I'm not playing along. I'm not actually going to jail. So why don't you make me? And, that is a way to approach it.
If you go, I'm not going to jail, why don't you make me? And then they come make you, I mean, that wasn't no. He has Secret Service. Is the Secret Service going to defend you against the local police department? Do they have to do what you say? Do they have to do what these baby fucking faggots
I would say that's the more
Who knows?
perverted it into something unrecognizable. And I'm not playing along. I'm not actually going to jail. So why don't you make me? And, that is a way to approach it. And I would say that's the more direct way. Why play along with this stuff? What are you going to do about it? But in order to take that posture, you have to be ready to, to get hurt. You do. But I would argue that you have to be ready to get hurt whenever you tell the truth, physically or in some other way. You have to, there's a risk involved. That's why everyone went and took the vax, because they didn't want to take the vax. Many people didn't, but they're like, it's not worth dealing with the consequences.
So let me stop you. Let me stop you. This is incredible.
Yeah.
And you're right. I've been thinking about this. I've tried to be Gandhi-esque and have said, never be violent in any way, offensively. But there comes a point with civil disobedience where if these are kangaroo courts, it's all been proven, and this is the other political party that's tried to take him off the ballot and
Max, I don't know if I get your question. Max Livity says, let me pull it up again. Do you seriously think that we get any information that they haven't decided to let you know? Are you talking about through the medium that we're watching now? Tucker and Alex Jones, two huge, popular, probably, compromised in some way or another. And it's all fake. I mean, when... put yourself in Alex Jones' shoes. Your media legacy, your money, your quality of life is going to be fucking taken from you. For sure. Is that fake? When the NSA is spying on Tucker, is that fake? I don't know if they have their finger on the button to the extent that they could stop this broadcast from going out, and it's, this is nothing but a bunch of captured fucking bullshit. I don't know if that's what you meant or what. We have a absolute tendency to recognize how fake and how gay everything has been up until this point. So yeah, I get the proclivity to say, oh, this is fake and gay. Everything's fake and gay. Some shit's kind of real. I think Alex Jones getting his lunch eaten by the government is real. Now, whether or not they are planning to assassinate him or Trump or anything like the shit that he says, I don't know about that. Some stuff is dubious, but it is a sliding scale of real to fake and gay, and some of the shit is pretty fucking real. I mean, if you are used to making millions of dollars and you're not making those millions of dollars anymore, and you see, I'm sure he sees the equivalent to white vans parked outside his shit and stuff like that. I personally would have a very increased amount of anxiety if I was being fucked with like that. That would be fucking real to me.
Level rigging these cases, and it's all blown up their face, where Trump then finally says, no, I'm staying here at Mar-a-Lago. This is a fraud. I'm not going. The problem is then the deep state stages terror attacks, blames Trump supporters for it. And so Trump currently saying, I don't mind going to jail. He's going to put himself in jail in Rikers Island. My concern is they might poison him or kill him. They're that desperate. So speak to that. And then clearly he has Secret Service because presidents are under threat. And political assassination goes on all the time. They just pumped a month ago 5 bullets in the Slovakian President Fico, and they're trying to kill the other leaders. I mean, this is what happens at the start of a major world war. So it's very paradoxical. So can you quantify? I don't think you're calling for either way, but
I'm not.
But you're just basically putting on the table what the options are of what's happening.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right. I mean, I have no idea what the right answer is. I'm, thank God, not facing a decision like that. Trump is. And I think he'll probably, if he's remanded to jail, he'll probably go to jail. I'm only saying at a certain point, it's important to acknowledge reality. And here's the reality. This is not justice. This is not a justice system. This is a husk of a system built by other people hundreds of years ago that has been taken over by new people who perverted its original intent. It's not real. It's fake. It's like Harvard University. Harvard University was the place where the smartest people in the country went. Now it's a place where you go based on your sex and your race, and the standards have been dropped dramatically.
And don't get me wrong. I get the ways in which Alex Jones is gay. And I get the ways that he's cringe and the boomer pandering bullshit. I get all that. I have eyeballs and ears. I can see all that shit. And the Chinese techno-fascists, yeah, there's a lot of that. But he has played the game well enough to get very wealthy off of the, let's say, right wing, if you want to boil it down to its simplest terms. And you kind of got to play those fucking faggot games to do that. That being said, he hasn't, like, gone beyond a level of faggotry that makes me like, I'm disgusted by this dude.
And the rest of us pretend that this zombie institution is the institution that we remember. And it's not. And it's just important to say that. I mean, in Zimbabwe, at the height of Mugabe's reign of terror against whites, he used the British, effectively Anglo justice system in place in Zimbabwe to crush the people whose ancestors built it. It wasn't a real system. It bore no resemblance whatsoever to the system that had been in place before Mugabe got there, except, the outward, affectations are all the same. The judges still wore wigs. They still, called the court to order with a gavel. But at its heart, it was a completely different thing. And, you could argue about whether it's a better thing or a worse thing. I'm just noting the obvious.
But that brings us to lawfare.
And I think it's important to say that.
It is. That brings us to lawfare. I mean, I've experienced it. It's not about me. I knew I was a beta test where I'm found guilty by 2 judges. Then they have show trials produced by HBO with the judges putting on makeup with scripts. And so I was there in a movie production. And to me, it wasn't about, I feel sorry for myself. I was like, holy crap, we're in a lot of trouble. And then now we've seen it with Trump and everybody else and Steve Bannon and Navarro. I mean, imagine if they're able to steal the election again, what they're going to do.
By the way, I saw an interview with Steve Bannon. They're going to throw that nigger in fucking prison. And it might have been on Tucker. I don't even remember. But he's like, yeah, I'm American. I feel like just like I served my country in the military, I feel like I'm serving my country by going to prison. It's like, come on, man. Like, they're not playing by the fucking rules. You think you're really going to go in, have your day in court, and shit's going to work out for you because truth and justice and the American way are always going to prevail? I don't think so, man. I think you have to use the N-word at times. And that means being willing to die, frankly. And I don't know who's about that smoke. Baystan says, I think Shady Hook and AJ's trial were staged, and Alex Jones played along with it in a psyop to set a precedent to go after free speech. I mean, that's a theory. I think it's a little far-fetched to think that, if that's true, they had to, at some point, capture Alex Jones and say, however you do that, I'm going to kill your fucking family, but you're going to do what we say. And then you got to look at the parameters that the sandbox in which they're going to let you play and be an agent in their media game. He says too much shit that is just it's not conducive to somebody who is on the payroll or maybe on the don't touch this one or two things or I'm going to kill your family payroll. But I don't really get that vibe, to be honest with you.
Because they've said on MSNBC, as you know, and everywhere, we're going to not discover.
If you want to look at like a tangible example of where the government sets up shit to go after your rights, look at every school shooting. Every fucking school shooting is the FBI has the technology and the know-how to know that they were going to happen. They've typically tracked these people, the Adam Lanzas or whatever, for years possibly, and they allow it to happen. Like, our government and the Mossad allowed 9/11 to happen so that they could enact more fucking gun control measures and shit like that. That's something that I believe is undeniable. I'm not an Alex Jones or Tucker dick suck in any way, but when they say cool shit, I like to watch it. Is it possible that Alex Jones and Tucker are massive captured faggots? I guess. I just don't really see it.
Trump, all his supporters, and Biden put out in 2021 his national security directive, the main threat's white supremacy, that basically is almost non-existent.
But to your point, like, the egregiousness of the case, the unprecedentedness to sue somebody civilly for $1 gajillion over what he said on his radio show, I mean, for that to fly, it kind of lends some credence to what you're saying, and he might have been in on it. I'll give you that. That kind of makes sense. Or he's just a dude getting fucked in the butt really hard by the government.
The violence, and then he went on, as you know, to say, what is the definition of white supremacy? Questioning an election, questioning lockdowns, questioning open borders, questioning forced inoculations. So what do you imagine they're going to do if they're able to steal it again? What do you see unfolding there, and what will they do if they retain power in this societal coup?
Wolko, I absolutely remember when he wore a bow tie
what won't they do?
and worked at CNN.
I mean, they're trying to put the front runner in the presidential race in prison for the rest of his life for things that are not crimes. So that just, I mean, that it answers its own question. Like, they will do anything. And I would expect that to continue. I mean, I do think the formality of these elections is really irksome to them. They hate the whole idea that people they despise would have a role in choosing the government or have any power whatsoever or be disobedient in any way. So they hate elections. The defenders of democracy hate above all democracy, of course. And so I think they will go very, very far in eliminating it. I do think that. And that's why I think that this election is potentially the last one, real election. I think to the extent it's even real. As to what we can do, I mean, look, I'll just tell you what I've resolved to do, which I'm not going to hurt anybody. I don't believe in hurting other people except in self-defense, and I really mean that. That's a religious precept for me, and I'm not going to change, period. So I'm not staging any kind of violent revolution against anybody, and I'm not going to. And I wouldn't recommend anyone else do it either. But
okay, I have a question for you guys, and I think we'll end this Tucker segment here. Listen to what he said one more time to help me reset.
Really mean that. That's a religious precept for her, and it's even real. As to what we can do, I mean, look, I'll just tell you what I've resolved to do, which I'm not going to hurt anybody. I don't believe in hurting other people except in self-defense, and I really mean that. That's a religious precept for me, and I'm not going to change, period. So I'm not staging any kind of violent revolution against anybody, and I'm not going to. And I wouldn't recommend anyone else do it either. But
what's the line, Tucker? What is the line for that? And if you ever want to know what's really going on and what they don't want you to know, is what you are absolutely not allowed to say. Any rhetoric around revolutionary thing. That's why they fucking went off on January 6th. I know it was fake and gay and all that shit. But the revolutionary idea and the notion of Americans getting so fucking fed up with this shit that they are willing to take up arms and put justice in their own hands and change things is the most dangerous narrative to them, period. They cannot fucking take that idea. My question is, and Tucker just said, oh, I don't want to start a revolution or anything. Like, what is the line? Tucker, you have a lovely house in Florida. You get to go fly fishing whenever you want. You have a fucking house in Vermont. You get to snowbird it up and down when it gets too hot in my fucking hellhole, the state. It might be more tolerant for you, but what's the line for most ham and egg faggots like myself who actually work for a living and are tired of, the time? It's hours in a day. Another $1 in taxes, another, few minutes you got to stay at work. What's the line when the bullshit becomes so unbearable and we've lost so much as normal ham and egger citizens that we're not willing to play this fucking fake game anymore? That's my question to everybody. Because like I said, we're not allowed to speak the truth anymore. The truth, in my opinion, is that we've been aggressed upon in such lethal ways that a revolution would be self-defense at this point. I mean, we're being attacked in every fucking way. They released, and this is the truth, that everybody, all the way to your biggest mask-wearing, triple-vaxxed and boosted lefty knows now, they fucking created a bioweapon. Our government, our shadow government, and China's shadow government created a bioweapon and intentionally released it upon the globe. And then came up with poisonous fucking vaccines to knock more people out. And then instigated the biggest transfer of wealth from the bottom to the fucking top in ways that will never be fucking recovered, that have never happened before, and that have changed the economic dynamic of the planet in ways that most people can't comprehend. And the death toll is so wacky at this point. From even the gayest source, COVID itself, it killed some people. Killed a decent amount of fucking our grannies and grandpa and shit like that. Our fatties and are, immunocompromised. But then you got the vaccine on top of that. That killed plenty. People are saying upwards of 30 million people have died from the shots, which would not shock me. But how many people have died from alcoholism, from increased drug use, from just white-knuckling it through life, that you fucking slap your fucking wife in the face and she, I don't know, you push her down the stairs or she fucking poisons your drink or whatever. I know these are extreme examples, but that shit has to have gone on in spades and in whites and other people. It's immeasurable. It's happened, and we are so seduced by fucking bread and circus and all that kind of shit that we sit around and say, okay, maybe I'll vote for the next guy who could get me out of this. When's the line when that R word and the N word, that revolution word and that no word, like when does shit get bad enough? Because I think a lot of people like envision, oh, they're going to come door to door and take our guns or whatever. Like, no, they're not doing that. They're not the fucking smartest people in the world, but they're smart enough to do the frog in the boiling pot of water thing. Slowly turn the fucking heat up. And we're not hopping out. It's like, when do you fucking hop out, man? I don't know. I don't find that to be a bad word. Revolution or fucking no. And maybe, a lot of people in the chat are like, Tucker and fucking Alex are compromised faggots. Maybe they are. Maybe that's why, maybe you're right. Maybe they're looking at the sum of everybody watching these people and they're like, you know what? We're never going to change these people's minds. People that are watching Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson and shit. But, and I heard Tucker say it, maybe they're like, let's just make sure Tucker says, and Alex says this shit too, and I'll give you that. Don't do anything violent. Don't get crazy now. Always say you're a Christian and you want the peaceful solution. We're beyond peace. They're fucking murdering us. They're unleashing hordes of third world trash into our country, poisoning our food, poisoning our water, and releasing bioweapons. Like, where's the fucking line? I think it's been crossed plenty of fucking times over. But that's, let's move on from that. That's Alex and his interview with Tucker. Doink, da doink, doink, doink. Oopsie. Where's that at? All right. What do we got next? By the way, this is the Ryan Harkness Show. We are a fully listener-supported program. You could go to buymeacoffee.com/Harkness Show, or Rumble Rants are also available. Max Livity, Mary Jane, and Base Dan have contributed via that way, and I got some super chats to read. First and foremost, and I'm glad that he did this because I would have forgot. You guys know Mr. Conspiracy Extremist and Assbutt in the chat. Great listeners, great contributors, but they also have a show, and I'm going to be on that bad boy on Tuesday. That's right. Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, ladies and gentlemen. Tuesday at, I believe, 11 p.m. our time, which is Eastern Standard Time. It might be whatever it is, an hour earlier, Central Time. But I'm going to be hanging out with Assbutt and Conspiracy Extremists on Horseshoes and Hand Grenades the day after tomorrow night. So you guys check out that. That was from Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. Let me read exactly what it was, because I just did that off of memory, and that wasn't exactly what it is. That was from Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. Catch Ryan back on Horseshoes and Hand Grenades this Tuesday at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is, I think, 11 Eastern Standard Time. And I'll be there, and thank you, Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, for that reminder and that donation. And we also got one from Base Dan, I believe, on the Rumble side of things. He says, glad to see you back. Keep up the open, no barred holds discussions on your show like you're doing when most want now. I'd like to think that I do that. Am I holding any bars or punches? Like in the beginning, that's why I played that thing where they showed the most quoted thing in the Bible again and again, 365 times. Do not be afraid. Don't be afraid. And if I'm going to be completely honest with you, like, I have self-censored some shit. And it comes from, hold on, let me make sure Base Dan is in there. Dan with a $5. You guys, we're at $80, 20 more bucks, and we've hit the goal. And I will do an off-the-cuff parody song for you guys. That's what happens when we meet the $100 goal. We are $20 away. Can we meet the goal? Ethan Ralph style. What was I talking about? Yeah, pulling punches, self-censoring. I would be a liar if I said exactly what I want to say all the time on this program. I really would be. And it's honestly from being afraid. Straight up. I don't go as far as I'd like to because I'm afraid for me and my family. I'm afraid for retribution from, and I know, dude, I'm a nobody on the fucking internet. Nobody gives a fuck about this show except you guys, and I give a fuck about you guys. But like in the grand scheme of things, I am a speck within a drop in the bucket. I'm nothing special. That is undeniable. But I don't think you have to have big boy pants to say the kind of shit that I hold my tongue from saying, and it has to do with those R words and those N words. If I was to do anything in terms of content that I think should be the shit that I'm scared to do, and I've talked about this before, a lot of you Killstream folks knew about this. I'm a parody song guy to an extent. Like, I'm not a parody song guy, but I'm good at them or whatever. And I had an idea for a January 6th song because I think that is, if there's like a bullseye of shit that they don't want you to say. I think the center is the revolution shit, the killing the people in the government that are trying to kill you shit. That's what they don't want. And I came up with an idea for a parody song about January 6th. Our word is revolution, Professor Grass. Like revolutionary stuff. And it's retard. Like the N-word is also no and nigger. But yeah, it was to R. Kelly's Bounce, Bounce. This is a remix edition. Hopping fresh out the kitchen. Mama rolling that body. Got every man in here wishing. Sipping on coke and rum. I'm like, so what? I'm drunk. It's the freaking weekend, baby. I'm about to have me some fun. I came up with an idea for a parody song about January 6th, and I don't even remember what the shit was. I might have the verse that I recorded somewhere. But Ethan Ralph of the Kill Stream had me on the Kill Stream, and I debuted that idea on there. The Kill Stream episode, the entire episode, was wiped out because of me bringing up, just singing a verse about a song about January 6th. I don't remember the lyrics. I'd have to go back and check it out. And I've thought of, I've actually researched some First Amendment attorneys that I would like to make this parody song, run it by them, and have them go, oh, this is problematic or whatever. I would like it to be as spicy and as funny as possible, but have nothing illegal in it. Nothing against the First Amendment. Nothing directly inciting violence against a specific person, which is a qualifier in that caveat to the First Amendment. It has to have specificity. You can't arrest me for saying we should hang all these fucking nigger faggots. Well, there's a lot of nigger faggots out there, so that's not specific enough. But the song was I don't remember it. It's yeah, I can't remember it off the top of the head, but the tagline was let's see. This is a remix edition. Hopping fresh out the kitchen. Mama rolling the man in here wishing. Sipping on coke and rum. I like, so what? I'm drunk. It's the freaking weekend, baby. I'm about to have me some fun. It was, let's do January 6th again, but this time let's bring our guns. Rumble nuked that fucking episode of the Kill Stream. Just gone. And that's how Rumble censors. If you think Rumble is the true free speech platform, since they have Dan Bongino and Russell Brand on, don't fucking kid yourself. It's a publicly traded company. And I've been censored more than once on Rumble. And they don't do it the way YouTube does it, where they send you an email that, like, you're a terrible person and we are not allowing this. They just pull the shit. They pull Ryan Harkness content right off of Rumble, and then they throw it in the trash. And they don't tell anybody, and they hope you don't notice, is what they do. But yeah, if I was to be completely honest with you, I do fucking censor some shit. And yeah, conspiracy extremists. Rumble removed that episode of the Kill Stream. CMK Shadow knows about 545 by 39, and I love it. All right, what do we got now? I gotta move the pace of this fucking program a lot. BuyMeACoffee.com/Harkness Show. Rumble Rants available. We are $20 away, I believe, from the goal. If we hit the goal, you guys get a off-the-cuff parody song. I think I'm no Aaron Imholt. I don't go, goalie, goal, goal, goal. This is a song, a show about the goal, and when we reach the goal, there'll be another goal, and you guys will get more goal, because this is the goal show. I just fucking do some content, and people like Mary Jane and Bass Dan and Max Livity and Horseshoes and Hand Grenades and I think this is everybody tonight, throws me a tip. And if we get to that hundo, which we're $20 away, I give you guys a special treat because being a faggot and talking about the goal too much is not great content. I got more content for you, and it's not goal-oriented. We got through the Alex shit. What is next? Oh, presidential. Let's get into the Biden shit. This is good stuff, guys. This is not embarrassing at all. We are a cohesive country with a truly fucking talented and coherent. Look at this man's face. He looks like a toddler who just shit his pants all the time. The fucking... This is fucking pathetic. Leader of the free world, ladies and gentlemen, Joseph Biden. What are all these fucking talking about on stage? I don't know. I guess, whether you want me to smile? God damn, there sure are a lot of fucking, oh my gosh, around here. That's it. There's a touching me right now. It's kind of grossing me out, to be honest with you. Damn. Performing for the president, ribbon boo, and got him boo. Look at this man's face. God damn, this shit is stupid. Hey, Jack, what's with all this shit? It's kind of gay. It confuses me. Oh, my God. That's the President of the United States, ladies and gentlemen. And that wasn't the only fucking I'm telling you, if they take away these fucking debates, I could see this 34 felony thing being just in the interest of making sure we don't get this man on a debate stage. Where's my candy? Did I get out of order? I've got like 3 more of these, and this is within the last week. How many times... What other president has had to be... And he still has the toddler pooping look on him. This man is truly demented. This shit sucks, man. Fake and gay election. 81 million votes, ladies and gentlemen. And I get people hate fucking Trump, but... That's a little loud. Sorry for you headphone people. Here's another one for you. I'm not done with these. This is all recent. He's on stage with Obama doing the toddler poopy pants. Still, look at toddler poopy pants all the time. Oof. He's got to lead him off, and he just exudes like geriatric energy. It's so fucking sad that this is... I'm not proud to be an American anymore. That we sit around idly and not use the R word and the no word. This is R word, N word, fucking material and reasoning right here. We should not be allowing this. We should say no to this. And we should fucking start a revolution to stop this shit. Ugh. Aren't they the same age? No, Obama's a little bit younger. He's fucking still spry as hell. Yeah, look, you're a demented faggot. Oh, you gotta get out of here. Poopy Pants. Doing the Mr. Poopy Pants shuffle. Jesus Christ. Guess what? You thought I was done? No, I have more. I have fucking more. This is from Since I've Been Gone. Since you've been gone, the president shit his pants again. He got lost on stage, took a dump in his depends, and now he is lost. Since you went to Scotland. Here? There?
Mr. President, thank you.
Where do I
At the
go?
end of such a momentous event,
Momentous.
the word thank you seems kind of inadequate. But for all
The words thank you seem to be inadequate to get you off the stage. Apparently, we need far more words other than thank you. A normal, cognizant person would have heard the word thank you and gracefully walked off on stage, but these words are inadequate to get an old, decrepit, senile, poopy pants piece of shit like yourself off of this stage. That's what I mean by these words are inadequate.
millions whose lives will be saved, for the communities where life will be transformed. Thank you.
That's our president, ladies and gentlemen. So we're doing good. That's just... Oh, and in case you didn't know... I got more Biden shit. Maybe somebody in the chat could tell me... This might be old, but I saw this popping around my feed recently. People are saying, let me get rid of the goal and stuff. Doink, doink. So we could see a little bit better. Because it looks like his neck is right there. I'll get rid of all this shit. Bye. All right, let's watch this one. And I usually dismiss these like, you're getting a little flat earthy now. The mask stuff. Maybe this is old. Number one, like, I think it has to be old. Somebody in the chat tell me, is this old as fuck or is this recent? It just recently started going around. But you could see the line, like, on this shit. Some people say it's a shadow cast from his collar. What the fuck is this?
You have to right the market a little bit here. And the market is that if you have all of the tax breaks, essentially all the tax breaks, all of the benefits flowing to the top 1/10 of 1%, there's never been as great a concentration of wealth, including going back to the Great Depression. Right. Ever. And so one of the things that worries me most about that, John, is that you have to right the market.
What is
a little
that?
bit here. And the market is that
he's too sharp in this. This has to be old as fuck. Or it's not him.
All of the tax breaks, essentially all the tax breaks, all of the benefits flowing to the top 1/10 of 1%. There's never been as great a concentration.
It's recent, Wolko?
Including going back to the Great Depression.
Are you sure about that?
And so one of the things that worries me most...
What is going on with this? Is that a shadow, like somebody said? Or what the fuck is that? Look at it. Maybe it is a shadow. But why would there be a light? Like, I don't know. I'm not a fucking film person. Do they put lights? I have a light up here. It is a studio light. And it's like one of those umbrellas that diffuse the light off of a soft white bulb. But it's above me, and it works good. It makes me look more attractive than what I really am. And hides a lot of imperfections. However, do they do the bottom up fucking, sitting around a campfire holding a flashlight on your face, telling a spooky story?
Concentration of wealth, including going back to the Great Depression. Right. Ever. And
the fuck is that?
One of the things that worries me most about that, John, is that you have to right the market a little bit here.
Rocky McCall, it does look superimposed.
If you have all of the tax breaks, essentially all the tax breaks,
I couldn't
all of
find the original.
benefits
Pretty
flowing
sure
to the
it's
top
fake. Is that what
1/10
it?
of 1%.
This must be fake, right? They just superimposed this shit to make people go, oh, no, and it fucking came across my
Never been as
desk.
great a concentration of wealth, including going back to the Great Depression.
Right.
Ever. And so.
Yeah, this
one
is
of the things
fake.
that
This is fake. That's what it is. You're right, Rocky. This is just fucking bullshit. By the way, we made the goal. Unless you guys, in case you guys did not know, let me get rid of that. Mary Jane, for another dub, says, cheers. Cheers to you, my sweet, sweet lady, who has donated $40 tonight. Getting us to the goal, folks. That was the last 20 we need, but Professor Grass gets us to 105% with a donation saying free speech should be free. Thanks for the shows, Ryan. You are welcome, sir. Thanks for the contribution. We are at we made the goal, if you guys don't know. Doink, 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 doink. 105 tonight. Max Livity, if you could please do me the honor and get me that information that I need, either in the chat or in the email, but email works best for me. But let's move on. You guys are getting a parody song tonight because you guys have been so generous. Ryan, look at his nose shadow. Let me go back to it. Oh yeah, you're right. The nose shadow goes down. I think it's what it is. CMK is, like everybody's saying, it's just fake and gay. Somebody made a video that you just saw that makes people go, hey, what is this, a mask? What it made me go, what is going on here? That's what it is. I mean, in the world of, computer image alteration and AI and shit, it's pretty easy to make the president's head white. And I don't know. Wilco said it's a recent video, though, and he did not seem as decrepit in that as I expected him to be. But moving on, we got more shit. Thank you guys for getting me to the goal. And now that we meet the goal, there's the next goal and the goal after that. And all the goals, we met the goal. So thanks to Mary Jane, Max Livity, Base Dan, Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. I think that's it. And who did I miss? I missed somebody in there. But you guys don't have to stop donating because we hit the goal. You could go to buymeacoffee.com/Harkness show up there on the screen there. And Rumble Rants are also available. Let me make sure I didn't miss any. Don't inbox. No coffees found. I think we're all cut up. And I'm going to give you guys a parody song tonight, apparently. What do we got next? Doink. I need to move through this shit a little faster. We got through that. Now all right, let's get into the Trump, I was going to say indictment, not indictment, but conviction. Conviction now. Now, like I said, I left for Scotland right when this story was coming in, so I couldn't do any content on it. But it looks like, ladies and gentlemen, the former leader of the free world, the one that didn't poop his pants so often, he's a felon now. He's officially a convicted felon. This is the dopest image meme that I've seen so far. It says, sorry, liberal, and I know the goal is covering that up. Let me get rid of that. Sorry, liberal, you'll have to arrest us all. And at first I thought this was a boomer tier. This is a parody, obviously, and it's hilarious because it has Jordan Peterson, obviously, the silly ones like the WNBA player and Tom Brady, Squidward in the back, The Undertaker, all your brightest and best based images. But the funniest part of this meme is Jesus Christ standing right next to Ben Shapiro. That fucking gave me a chuckle. And Trump has been convicted of 34 fucking felonies, ladies and gentlemen. You know what that means. He faces either prison or, the kind of shit. It's kind of weird because, like, every black guy that I've ever met that had 34 felonies, they couldn't escape prison. So I don't really know how he's going to escape prison, but apparently he is. Let's read off this fantastical list of felonious horrors that President Trump has engaged in. Like I said earlier, I could not tell you what a single one of those are. I checked out of politics for a while, especially during the whole Trump trial shit. I was just over it. Not fun anymore. Not a party. And I missed a lot. I missed so much that I missed practically the whole existence of Thomas Massey that we're going to get into a minute here. But definitely checked out of the Trump trial. I laid down this tweet right before I left. This one got a fucking lot of love. 5,230 views, 122 likes. Pretty good as far as my tweets go. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Because, again, I don't know what any of these felonies are, but I just made up 34. I said, Trump found... Wait, I need some music to go along with this because of the silly nature of the deal. Let's pull up some yakety stats I get. All right, ladies and gentlemen. You wonder what that demon Donald Trump has been convicted of? We have a list of 34 things, including buggery, hamburgling, shenanigans, jaywalking, tomfoolery, spelunking, sass, vapor locking, butt chugging, fat shaming, ziplining, grooviness, horseplay, rubber stamping, teaching someone how to Dougie without a license, fart knocking, sissy pissing, pussy farting, which means queefing, shit posting, valve lapping, beefing, using ranch instead of blue cheese, grab assing, spray tanning, white boy summering, listening to Limp Bizkit after 2003, cobblering, saying the N-word, milk steak, pog theft, overcooking chicken, looking a gift horse in the mouth, and of course, covfefe, one of the fucking most devious charges that he was found guilty of. Imagine reading a list of 34 real charges. You've never heard a fucking rap sheet like that. I live in the Tampa area, and several years ago, there was this black dude that broke fucking bad, and he was shooting at cops. He stole his baby's mama's baby and threw the little fucking niglet out the window over a bridge on the highway. I think he might have killed a cop or two. He went ham. He decided, I'm going to die today, and I'm going to make the biggest crime legacy and rap sheet of felonies that you could ever imagine. If you read out that fucking guy's shit, like, it says here, Jerome DeQuarius Quigley III, you're charged with felony count of throwing a niglet out of a moving vehicle, pulling a 187 on a motherfucking cop, reckless driving. I don't even know. I can't name that many felonies. Somehow, Trump has 34. Still, nobody can tell me what one of them is. But yeah, the former president of the United States is possibly going to prison. And he said this, which I think is pretty fucking based, thank God.
So much tragic and just bad news. Bad things are happening. Mom, I'm sorry. Mom, I didn't do it.
Fucking base, Trump.
You can do it, baby. I love you so much. Tragic and just bad news. Bad things are happening. Mom, I'm sorry.
I don't know what the fuck this is. But I retweeted this a couple days ago and like, finally, Trump says some based ass shit.
You can do it, baby.
This is a very folly-ridden human thing, and that's one thing I do like about Trump. Like, he could fucking... I don't know if he's referencing, like, sucking two dicks at once or what.
You can
if
do
this
it,
is sexual...
I love you so much. Tragic and just bad news.
People are
bad
laughing
things are
in the
happening.
audience.
Mom, I'm sorry. Mom, I didn't do it.
Okay, let me read this thing from Wilco. In reference to that, I'm sorry to jump way back in time, but I got to know. And I know Wilco said that that wasn't a new one. Video is not new. It's from 12/5/2019. Yeah, it's kind of new. That's not new. It's old. You're right. I was misunderstanding. Here's the original. You got the original. Let's see it. We're going to play that in here for a second. Thank you, Wilco. Let's check this
You
out.
can do it, baby. I
Sorry, Trump. I'm going to get rid of you for a sec.
love you so much.
And I assume what we're going to see is... Oh, that looks the same. Hold on. Let me pull this up. Don't. This is one of these. Let's pull that.
Introducing Ultimate Speed from Comcast Business. It's our fastest internet plans yet.
Don't miss out on our
Sorry about the ad, but this is like a, obviously a. Oh my God! And now I fucking pulled that up. Doink. All right, you gonna play my video? 28 minutes. Is this right? Okay, this is it.
All of the benefits
That's not
flowing to the
augmented.
top 1/10 of 1%.
What
There's
in
never
the
been as great a
fuck?
concentration of wealth,
No, I
including
could see
going
it
back to the
moving.
Great
It is a
Depression
shadow.
ever. And so one of the things that worries me most about that, John, is not just the political, the
All right,
economic
it's a shadow.
impact on people who are hard. The
I
middle
saw,
class is
you
getting
could see
killed.
the line
The middle class
moving
right now
over
is
and
in a
around, which
position
is
where
weird.
They more than half of
Like
most
CMK
people will ever
said,
have the
look
same
at the
standard
shadow
of
on his
living.
nose
This
and
is
it
where
goes
the
down.
Sanders and Warren wealth tax comes in. It polls pretty well. Critics, Republicans, also some prominent promised
recession, at
Is
least
this
a
on my
significant
screen?
economic
Yeah, it is.
slowdown. That doesn't make sense.
It's fucking
But I
weird.
do think.
But do you think that vote was a mistake?
No, not that.
I think it's a
Everything's
shadow,
context.
but I don't.
One of the reasons
I don't
like
really
giving
understand
interviews is
how
you know the context
and
No,
why
I'm not being wise.
there'd be a light coming up. And there's, you're right, CMK. This is Wolko. This is obviously from several years ago because he cannot speak like that anymore. Not that he was on the top of his fucking game or whatever back then, but there's no way that he's speaking like that anymore. So yeah, Trump convicted, 34 felonies, and that kind of ties into this shit. I said I was checked out. Like I've been done with politics, so much so like when I've gone on the kill stream, he's like, you want to talk about Trump? You don't really care about that shit, do you? I do care. I mean, I care about American politics, obviously, but I feel like I'm on a different pill than everybody else is on. I don't even know if it's the pill, the clown pill, or the black pill. I kind of think it's like the 308 pill. The staring at my rifle with tears and goosebumps running down my eyes and on my arms pill. But I still do care about politics, but being checked out of it had me miss this fucking what appears to be a real ass nigga who right now, I know we always get bamboozled by these folks, but on face value does not seem to be that fake and does not seem to be that gay. I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, Thomas Massey, and we're going to get into yet another Tucker interview with this fine gentleman, and we're going to see exactly why I have taken a shining to this man, and there's not many people that I can name in Congress or the House of Representatives that say anything that I really like or respect, or even if they do, like a Matt Gaetz or somebody like that, I still know that their bread is getting buttered from someplace nefarious, so I write it off. But this nigga, Thomas Massey, does not seem to be like a bad character at all. Let's check out some of this shit.
That's my anxiety generator. So it's actually making...
So Tucker asks him, what is this thing on his lapel? He has... He's also a dork, okay? Which, lends credence to the idea that he's not a complete fucking J-owned faggot. He, I think, was an electrical engineer. He came up with a device. I think he's going to explain it. I was going to explain it in case he didn't, but I think he does in this.
Pocket. That's the debt. That's my anxiety generator.
So it's actually making me really...
The thumbnail of this episode, by the way.
Is that real time?
Yes, so it's synced to Treasury. It gets the debt to the penny once a day, and then it looks at what the debt was a year ago, and it comes up with a rolling average debt per second, and it interpolates on weekends and holidays when the Treasury is not paying attention. I am.
So I think you're the only one who wants to know.
Yes, and I want my colleagues to know, and it's great to wear this thing in an elevator with like Adam Schiff, and he's got nowhere to look. I once caught a female congresswoman staring at it. And
you know that's happened, too. Like, he's been in the elevator with Adam Schiff. Look at my thing.
My eyes were up here. Caught
a
female
joke.
congresswoman staring at it and had to tell her my eyes were up here. She asked me why I didn't make a belt buckle out of it.
I can't see it. I don't have it memorized, but off the top of my head, let's see. I'm just going to look at the thumbnail. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up. I'm going to go out of this, go over here. C drive. No, it's D drive, isn't it? I can't remember. Sorry. I'm bailing on this real quick. Go back to Homeboy. Is that the right one? No, that's not the right one. This is. All right, let me pull up the thumbnail and see if I could find MS Paint. Yes, I do my thumbnails in MS Paint. I don't have a producer. I do have a producer, kind of. And I don't have... By the way, I should... Now that the show has grown to the point that it is, a lot of people reached out in the beginning. And they were like, oh, I'll help you out with, thumbnails and shit like that. Open invite. And I'm going to reach out to some of those people. If you want to start producing, like, overlays, graphics for the shows, shit like that, I would consider that a very valuable donation to the program. Massey Thumb. All right, let me see if I could share my screen with this. This is Doink. No, that's not what I wanted. I can't share that. I have some sensitive stuff on the screen that I don't want you to see. Maybe I can go like this real quick. The debt is 31 trillion. Is that right? Yeah, 31 trillion 479 billion 683,150,846 dollars at the time. 5/25 2028. Is that an 8 or no, 2023. We're not in 2020. 2023. So May of this year, or last year rather. So it's by far much higher than this. Let's say it's 37. What's the difference? 37 trillion, 30 whatever trillion. Did that even go through? I think it did. You guys get the point. That's an unfathomable number to me in like terms of dollars. That's disgusting. And how many times do you hear our Congress people talk about the debt? Not many people do. This nigga fucking made a gadget, and he keeps it on his lapel when he goes to work, and it shows the debt.
It was because I like...
No, I cannot.
Oh, well, she's funny. That's very impressive. So what's the message of it?
The message is this is urgent. You know, it's hard to comprehend 14 digits of debt, but when you see the last 5 digits are moving so fast you can't, perceive them with your eyes, then you kind of understand, whoa, we got a problem here. I mean, it's $100,000 a second, roughly.
What?
So imagine we had this catapult and we were launching Cybertrucks once a second into the ocean. That's how much debt we're taking on. continuously. Now there's
Rocky made me laugh. I've been wanting to try the new Anna Spain version. Spoiler alert, it's the same thing that it was in 1999.
I noticed last month it went down.
Maybe a couple added features.
And I'm like, is my DAT clock broken? Why is it going down? And then I realized, oh, it's April 15th. Everybody's paying their taxes.
Right.
So the good news is we balanced it for a month. The bad news is April 15th is the only reason that happened, and now the debt's going back up again.
So maybe when it gets so big, it becomes something that you have to ignore. It's almost like if you fall off the wagon from drinking, you binge. If you fall off your New Year's diet, you just eat the pizza and a quarter of Ben and Jerry's. Like, why do you care? You sort of go crazy. And it feels like we're there.
The one great thing about Tucker's YouTube channel is he gives timestamperinos in his thing.
Where does it end?
Where does it end?
Wonder how the swamps.
Oh, shut up, Rand. We don't want to hear from you. We want to hear from the new guy.
Right now,
the new
we're able
baller
to finance it because we're the world's reserve currency. And when we print more money, which we're doing all the time, the Fed is doing that, we're actually taxing the world. Everybody in the world who holds dollars gets like a 3% transaction fee. I say we're kind of like the credit card at the gas station that gets 3% because you're using that credit card.
Right.
Well, we get 3% from inflation we cause because the world is using our currency. And we can do that as long as they use our currency. But I think it's going to end. At some point, they're going to quit using our dollars as reserve currency. I mean, I watched your interview with Putin.
Oh, by the way, just recently, Russia has ended trading on their stock market with both with American dollars. So, BRICS, ladies and gentlemen.
Things, whether you hate him or not, one of the things he said that is true is when we sanctioned him, before we sanctioned Russia, 70% of their transactions were in U.S. dollars. And after the sanctions, it's less than 20% of their transactions.
Holy fuck, I didn't even know that. 70% of Russian transactions are in the dollar? We did have a fucking big swinging dick. Oh my God, how did we fuck this up? No wonder things were so great that we thought, oh, money just fucking rains from the sky. Everybody was using our dollars, and now we fucked the dollar's ass until it's like the goatsy or goat.sc, where the guy's holding his asshole open. That's the US dollar, is that shit. The fucking its asshole has been ripped wide open. Don't believe me? Go to the grocery store. Oh, that's one of the things that I forgot to mention. In Scotland, your dollar goes a lot further there. A steak that costs $26 here is about $8 to $10 there. Taking a family, we had 7 adults and a baby, $100 to go out to eat to a nice restaurant. 100 and change, and they don't expect tips.
In U.S. dollars. So what we're doing with all these sanctions, ironically, we're shooting ourselves in the foot every time we sanction a country and say you can't use our currency to have a transaction. We're taking away our ability to charge them 3% for that transaction, because when we print 3% more dollars, we're just taking that money.
And we're also sending a really clear signal, which is the dollar's not safe for you.
Right.
It's the reserve currency because it's a safe haven, because it's a stable country. It's the most stable country in the world, and we're not going to weaponize the dollar because that would be shooting ourselves. But suddenly we are.
And they'll tolerate like 3% because we're not backed by dollars, we're backed by aircraft carriers right now. So they'll sort of tolerate that 3%. But one of the things we recently did in Congress, we passed something called the Repo Act, where we said we're just going to seize all of Russia's sovereign assets in the United States. Well, it turns out a lot of that is treasury debt that they've agreed to buy so that they can hold dollars. And here's the problem with that. When people see that we've seized their money that they gave us in exchange for these treasury notes, then other countries—
I'm learning something new.
—don't want to buy our debt. It's already happening. And the price of a long-term bond that the treasury puts out it's already gone above 4%. It's like over 4.5%. They don't want to buy them anymore because, you know, we probably wouldn't seize Great Britain's assets, but I could see a seizing
We
China's
should.
assets.
Why would, I mean, that's
like,
All right, moving on.
Last month, we voted like 15 or 16 times on issues.
He gets into fucking. Truth be told, this is why I like him. He's about to get into you know what stuff
related to Israel. And, you know, I've been hit because I voted no on all of those.
Why do you, because you hate Israel, or is there another
He
reason?
is the only, practically the only guy that we have that's voted no on all the Israel bullshit. The only one.
No, because I'm against sending our money overseas. I'm against starting another proxy war. I'm against sanctions because it's going to weaken the dollar. I'm for free speech. Like, all of these resolutions run afoul of those things, and that's why I can't vote for them.
Tell us what the free speech part of it.
So recently they brought a bill to Congress, and this was actually a binding bill, not a non-binding resolution. Like, this was going to have the effect of law, and people would get, you know, prosecuted if they engaged in anti-Semitism on campuses. And the problem with this bill is they use some international definition of anti-Semitism on a website.
We've gone over this on the show before. The episode, I don't know which one it was. It's called Let's Just Make Not Liking Us Illegal. And we go over the anti-Semitism bill, which is absolutely true. The bill was, anti-Semitism is now illegal. You need a definition for it. Here's the definition. Go to www.jewyjew.com and they'll give it to you, and they just make it up live. Hold on, I got to get some ice for my scotch.
Somewhere. My first question is, why don't you just put the definition in the bill? Why are you pointing to somebody's URL in a piece of legislation?
You are the Congress, right?
Right. We are the
write
Congress.
the laws.
We should be. Instead, we're referencing a website that's not even, you know, hosted in the United States. And so I went to this website, and it's got a, you know, fairly short definition, but it's also got examples of things that would be considered anti-Semitism. And some of these are actually passages in the New Testament, if you will, would be banned by this
Bible's
international
illegal now,
definition
folks.
of anti-Semitism. For instance, saying that Jews killed Jesus, which is, you know, in the Bible. He was not welcome among his own people, okay? And so that would be anti-Semitism. And if you engaged in that on campus or just offered that as a thought, let's say in a classroom, you would be anti-Semitic and you would run afoul.
Yes, Spicy White. The cake is baked. The dollar is fuck. You can't unbake a cake. You can't, like, the baking of a cake is like audio. They use that same analogy. Like, you can't, they've kind of done it with AI and shit, but say you have a recording of Led Zeppelin's Immigrant Song. You have the bass and the drums and the music and shit. To isolate Robert Plant's vocals, or Black Dog. Hey, mom, shit, the way you move, gonna make it. Well, that one's isolated, so that's a bad example. But when all those sounds are going on at the same time, you can't suck just the drums out without some fucking noise from everything out. Like, you can't take an egg out of a cake. It's already baked in there. And we've done that with the dollar. I think that's a good analogy.
Of the Department of Education and some federal laws. And, you know, there were other examples in there that were hard to believe. For instance, comparing the policies of Israel to the Nazi regime would be anti-Semitic. But the question is, what if their policies ever became the same? Is this a static definition?
Or what if we just have different opinions and your opinion is now a crime?
Right. I mean even if it's abhorrent.
Even if it's wrong and stupid.
Yeah. It's still legal. It should be.
You may have come to the obvious conclusion that the real debate is not between Republican and Democrat or socialist.
It's about and
capitalist, right, left. The
All
real
right.
battle is between people who are lying on
timestamp.
purpose and people who are trying to tell
Doink.
you. So what's AIPAC?
AIPAC is the American Israel Public Affairs Committee.
What is
and
APAC?
they didn't start out as a PAC in the sense of a political action committee, but now they have a political action.
Again, follow APAC Tracker on Twitter, and make sure you follow me, Ryan Harkness, at Ryan Harkness _. You could also give monetarily to the program if you feel so inclined by going to buymeacoffee.com/Harkness Show. Rumble rants are also available, and your super chats will be read live on air. Doink. Doink. Doink.
Committee. Ostensibly,
by the way, we
it's
do have a off the cuff parody song coming up tonight because you guys brought me to the $100 goal. Max Livity, since he was the largest donator of the night with $50, will be choosing the song and the subject matter for that.
Americans,
that's how that works.
Lobby on behalf of Israel. They're for anything Israel. And they're a very effective lobbying group. They get in there. They try to get me to write a white paper as a candidate, for instance, for Congress. They almost get
on what?
On Israel. And I wouldn't do it. And they said, why? And I'm like, I don't do homework for lobbyists, right? I'm like, I didn't like writing term papers at college. I'm not writing one for you.
What did they say?
They said,
they give these niggas homework. You have to write glowing words about them from your own heart and soul, based off of nothing other than, I don't know, the money that they gave you, but you can't say that. I love Israel because they're the biggest lobby in the world, and they gave me Representative Dan Crenshaw $1 million. That's why I love Israel. So they write fucking the bullshit that they do. All the stuff that was revealed in the Groiper Wars stuff at TPUSA. Why should we consider Israel our greatest ally? Oh, they let faggots butt fuck over there. They don't do that in Turkey. They let, it's a democracy. Even though you guys don't fucking have real elections or democracy. It's just a bunch of old fucking tropes. They're our only friend over there. They let faggots butt fuck. They totally didn't have 5 Mossad assets sitting on top of a Jersey rooftop documenting events. That's for sure.
Oh, well, here, just copy Rand Paul's term paper and put your name on it. We'll accept that. And I'm like, no, I'm still not cribbing somebody else's homework to do homework. I'm not turning in my homework for you. And what? You're laughing, but you know what? I bet I may be the only Republican in Congress who hasn't done homework for AIPAC.
The only one.
What it is, it's conditioning. They want you to do something very simple and benign, and for them, they don't really grade your term paper. They just want to know that you'll do something.
They want you to go through the fucking humiliation ritual, which is being an elected representative of the United States, but you have to write a glowing book report like a fucking 6th grader. After reading, I don't know, whatever you read in 6th grade, Little Women or The Chocolate Touch or whatever, and you have to stand in front of the class and go, they're the only democracy in the Middle East, and they let faggots butt fuck and don't throw them off of roofs. That's why we need to give them $4 billion a year. It's a humiliation ritual, just like, all these super base fucking world leaders like that Millil guy and President Trump putting on a dumb little fucking hat. Here, what's this? Put on my little hat and go kiss the wall. It's the same shit. It's a ritual.
For them, and if you'll do something for them as a candidate, you're more likely to do something for them as a congressman when you get in there. So my rift started out in 2012 when I refused to turn in an Israel term paper.
How did they respond to that?
Based.
Well, they kind of got in my race a little too late there in the beginning, and because it was hard to tell that I was actually going to win. And when they saw I was going to win, that's when they tried to get me to do the term paper. They didn't have a political action committee at the time. They couldn't spend hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars against me at that time. It was just sort of like a whisper campaign to try to, hey, don't vote for him, blah, blah, blah.
That's why.
Because at that point, they sensed I wouldn't do what they wanted when I got
But what
to
did they whisper against you? What were they saying about you?
Well, they would do it through, for instance, churches, evangelical churches. They've got an organization called Christians United for Israel.
God, he's just fucking spilling the beans, right? Because they fucking approached him with the homework assignments, and they probably have a process that they, shove you into the machine with, and he's just fucking letting it all rip.
Sort of co-opted evangelicals. People think it's a grassroots movement in Kentucky. It's actually a top-down movement from AIPAC, so that people who aren't even Jewish...
People in fucking Kentucky who are like Southern Baptists and shit, those are the, Trump boomers with the flags, the Trump flags outside of their house and an Israeli flag, and they bump that fucking greatest ally shit. This is how it's happened. And the Bible has been subverted too. All that chosen people shit, that's horse shit too.
Will feel like they've got to support Israel, no matter what. And even if it's a secular state that funds abortions, they, just sort of forget that part, and we've got to fund Israel.
Based.
So they have networks, so it's more than just about the money.
So you get elected, despite their efforts, and then what happens? Do you talk to them after that?
And by the way, let me just put a little footnote here. I'm not against Israel. I've never voted to sanction Israel. I've never said anything particularly, critical of Israel, other than, for instance, right now they're bombing. They've killed 1% of the civilian population in Gaza. That's
Jesus Christ.
But, so what do they do now?
I'm sorry to laugh, but that is fucking... What do you think? 1%? What's that? I think like 22 million people fucking live there. That's a lot of fucking innocent people. Just imagine if 1% of the United States population was 350 million people. So 35,000 or 350,000 just gonzo.
To 2012, do you hear from them again?
I'd vote my conscience, which they won't tolerate. So they ran with their 501c4 before they had a super PAC. They were running educational advocacy ads against me, saying that I'm bad on Israel. They didn't say don't vote for him. They just said he's a bad guy. And so I said, all right, well, you're not welcome in my office anymore, because for years I invited them into my office. Let's talk this through. Let me explain to you. I'm a libertarian-leaning Republican. I don't vote for foreign aid for anybody. So don't be offended when I don't vote for your foreign aid. I don't vote for wars anywhere, so don't be offended if I do that. I'm for free speech, even if it's abhorrent.
This is how the libertarians get you, right? They say some pretty fucking groovy, sassy shit. And you're like, all right, that's fucking nice. And then they just fag it up. They just fucking kill it. Not that Massey isn't a libertarian. I think everybody fucking cool like describes himself as, oh, I'm kind of a libertarian Republican or whatever. That's just the thing. Like boomers, Christian conservative boomers, if you ask them, what are your political leanings, they'll go, I'm fiscally conservative and socially liberal. Like, I like faggots butt fucking and not getting thrown off roofs and stuff like that, and I think the free market should reign.
And, we used to talk, but now they're banned from my office. The situation went from bad to worse. This election cycle, they spent $400,000 against me. $90,000 last fall running TV ads in my district and Facebook ads and whatnot.
So
trying to
the
equate
average,
me with the squad.
I mean, if you, again, APAC tracker on Twitter, if you follow them, you see there's some people that are eking out like a couple tens of thousands of dollars, some of the lower level congressmen, but several are in the millions. And a lot of them are hovering around $50,000 to $100,000. That's a Tesla, They're buying our congresspeople one by one with a fucking used Mercedes. It's kind of fucking astonishing with how little money they spend. But they've spent $400,000 at least, and you know they're spending more in other indirect ways to fuck this guy in the ass.
And then this most recently, and in fact, as I'm speaking to you today, even though my election is over, they're still running hundreds of thousands of dollars of negative ads.
It's a little weird, though, because, as you said, you're probably the only Republican in the House who hasn't done homework for them, who isn't on their side. And that's okay. I mean, you can have, you're a libertarian-oriented Republican from Northern Kentucky. You're probably not going to single-handedly determine our foreign policy. So I think you should, but you don't.
Thank you.
And you're not going to. So why do they care? Why not just let Thomas Massey be Thomas Massey in Northern Kentucky? Like, why the need to crush you?
I don't know. I think they don't want one horse out of the barn. If one person starts speaking the truth, they're afraid it could be contagious, perhaps. Or it's like a new car. They go to Mike Johnson and they say, we want a Cadillac, Escalade with pearl white paint. And here's the rims we want. And Mike Johnson puts that bill on the floor. It passes with a unanimous vote, except for one guy votes no. And I think they feel like it's a scratch on their car. They wanted a brand new car, and it got scratched by this guy named Massey. They were going to drive it over to the Senate and ask for unanimous consent.
All right, I love this guy, but we're going to go to the next timestamp. The timestamps are Mitch McConnell, which I kind of want to fucking hear him shit on Mitch McConnell. I haven't seen this.
What do you think of Mitch McConnell after all these years of being in the delegation with him?
We're going to do this one and then kill switches on cars, I think, and then I got to move on.
He's a shrewd guy.
Yep.
He's quick. He's let me give you an example of how
I'm going to try to do a hard out at 11:30ish. So Max Livity, if you could give me a subject matter and a song, I would appreciate it.
He is. So we had a Congressman, Jamie Comer, who's now chair of the Oversight Committee. He got elected in a special election, which means you come in the middle of a term, and you have to boot up with no staff, and so it's kind of disorienting. So Mitch McConnell had an event for Jamie Comer on his first day in Congress. It was in a townhouse with like 200 lobbyists. By the way, I'm never going to get invited to one of these now that I tell you the story. And so Jamie's there, and McConnell goes, I believe Jamie took his first vote tonight. And
that is such a perfect imitation.
And I wasn't supposed to speak, but I interrupted Senator McConnell.
He does imitations, by the way.
At the time, the majority leader. And I said, yes, Senator McConnell, he did take his first vote, and I know he has no staff. So I advised Jamie.
Actually, that was a decent Mitch McConnell. I was thinking of Lindsey Graham. That's why I wanted to see that. But Mitch McConnell's a piece of shit, too.
My face doesn't work anymore. I think my Mitch McConnell is a little bit better than Thomas Massey's Mitch McConnell.
Walk into the chamber, look at how I vote.
What?
Eve to me is basically free.
You will not get free advertisement on the
and
Ryan
then vote
Archie
the
show.
other way, and you'll be just fine. And 200 lobbyists thought it was a pretty good joke, and they were laughing. And as the laughter died down, McConnell goes, well, Thomas, I'm glad you and I are giving Jamie the same advice.
All right, he does more impressions. Let's go to the Trump shit.
He's good. That funny. And Trump called me
this is
three
funny.
times on
I
the
did
floor
see
of the
this
House
part.
while I was getting ready to make the motion to object. And I let it go to voicemail 3 times in a row.
Imagine fucking Donald Trump calling you, and you're just like, boot, chuck that shit in the weeds. That is fucking awesome.
But I couldn't leave the microphone because I was asking people, would you make this motion if I go to the restroom? And they're like, no, no, not me. Mm-mm. So I sat there. I finally, they yielded time for debate. I go off the floor and called the White House switchboard back. And I didn't have his number. I just if you want to tour the White House, you call the number I called, right? And the intern is like, oh, is this Congressman Massey? I'm putting you through to Trump right now. And so he comes on and he goes, I'm coming at you like you've never seen.
All right. I love this fucking guy.
intern is like, "Oh, is this Congressman Massey? I'm putting you through to Trump, right?"
In a county jail, I think.
Shit. Sorry about that. I clicked something shitty.
Congressman Massey, I'm putting you through to Trump right now.
That was close.
And so he comes on and he goes, I'm coming
at you like you've never seen.
You like you've never seen. Never in your life before. Have you seen the way in which I will?
And that's fucking the way Trump did. Sorry to interrupt your impression, Massey. I'll rewind it a little bit. But I'm sure, like, when he felt people are stepping on his toes, he just called them up and like, I fucking made your election happen. If you don't have me, you don't have anybody. And he got his fucking way with that. And his way, a lot of time, was the Jews that he surrounded with him from AIPAC going, you need to do this. Calling people like Massey to tell him to shut the fuck up or do this or that.
And you know, I didn't have his number. I just
not
like, if you want to
based.
tour the White House,
It's
you
gay.
call the number I called, right? And like the intern is like, "Oh, is this Congressman Massey? I'm putting you through to Trump right now."
All right, here's impression.
And so he comes on and he goes, "I'm coming at you like you've never seen, never in your life before. Have you seen the way in which I will come at you? I'm more popular than you in Kentucky, and you know it. I'm backing your primary opponent, and you're gonna lose." And I'm like, oh crap, I probably will lose. I mean, he had 95% popularity among my Republican electorate, who I had to face in about 8 weeks in my primary. And
Kentucky, you better not fucking turn. I wish this guy was the president. Fuck a Trump in his fucking ass, like the American dollar, stretched out goatsy style. Massey for president.
had a well-funded
nigga.
opponent, and here now Trump was mad at me.
Is Trump fucking talking about ending the Federal Reserve and defunding Israel? Fuck no, he's not. Get the fuck out of here with this. He's going to save America.
He screamed at me for 2 or 3 minutes. I kept trying to talk, and he just screamed louder. Then he repeated it all.
Look at the thing on his lapel. It's going up.
No, this is the second time
Oh
you've
my
done
God.
something like this. And they talked me out of it before.
This is
but not this
dystopia.
time. And then, you're going to lose. And he
You're
hangs
gonna
up.
lose.
And like, the thing is,
You're
like,
gonna lose,
he said he
faggot.
thought it was the second time. I'd done that like 8 times since he was president. He just started realizing it's the same guy.
Trump didn't even care to fucking pattern recognition that this is the same guy that he's called. Hey.
Before that was on war with Iran.
Who? Massey? Oh, who? What do I do? Call him? Okay.
Democrats were in the majority. And, you know, he had just vaporized Soleimani.
Yeah.
And we were worried that he would attack
great.
mainland Iran without a vote of Congress. So the Democrats, actually insincerely, there aren't too many anti-war Democrats left.
I've noticed.
But they realized this was a chance to make a statement.
I get Massey from Monarch says conspiracy extremists. I get that. I get the proclivity to like fucking want to deify or kingify a Hitler or Thomas Massey or Donald Trump when they say shit that you like. Oh, by the way, speaking of conspiracy extremists, I will be on Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, Conspiracy Extremists and Ass Butts podcast on Tuesday, 10 Central, 11 Eastern, right here on rumble.com. Just look up Horseshoes and Hand Grenades and catch me then. See you guys then.
A bill on the floor saying, Trump, you can't go to war with Iran without a vote of Congress, which is constitutionally obvious. So I had to vote for it, but I was only one of 3 Republicans to do it. So he remembered that time, but he didn't remember the fake Obamacare repeal and some of the other things that I was kind of, you know, the turd in the punch bowl on.
Did it change your views at all?
No. The president tweeted that I was a third-rate grandstander, and that, like, this is before I got back to my seat. Like, I go back from the speaker's lobby to go to my seat to get ready to make the motion, and one of the Congress was like, "You better look at your phone, Massey. Look at your Twitter." And I turn it on. He's like tweeting hard and heavy against me. He said I should be thrown out of the party. And then the best one is, I'm chairman of the Second Amendment Caucus. So his third tweet was, "He's terrible on guns." I was like, what? Where did that come from? Have you seen my Christmas card picture? Right.
What's your Christmas card picture?
Oh, well, it's a little infamous.
No, I've actually seen it, but I just for the benefit of those who have not.
So, I got my family together for Christmas, and we got bluegrass instruments out. We play music together, and we took a Christmas card picture with bluegrass instruments. And I said, hey, wouldn't it be kind of neat if we just change these all out?
I got to get to the next thing, which is kill switches in cars, which I haven't. Damn, there's a lot of good shit in this, but I kind of got a hard out at 11:30, and I got a lot of show left. But we did the Trump thing. I want to hear this kill switches in cars.
So I introduced an amendment and forced a vote on eliminating the kill switch in automobiles.
I got to piss so bad.
Thank you.
I don't want to go to break.
Well, I was losing Republicans on that. I lost 20 Republicans. So I knew I needed some.
So just to be clear, for the people who don't know what you're talking about, in new vehicles, this has been the case for years, they can be turned off remotely by the authorities, which is the most North Korean thing ever to happen. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, by 2026, every new automobile sold has to be able to turn itself off if it doesn't like your driving.
Try turning my 1994 four-cylinder Ford Ranger off. Try turning my 1986 carbureted Honda Goldwing off with your computer robots. Faggots. It ain't gonna happen.
So I'm how do you appeal this?
I could run that Goldwing on Dewar's Scotch, which is actually called whiskey to the Scottish.
Conviction at the roadside, right? Maybe you swerved to miss a deer and pulled over for an ambulance, and you got your kids in the car, and it stops.
How could anyone vote for something that evil? I don't understand.
Because again, they know that I'm right, but they're worried about, for instance, Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
What? Is that still a thing? MAD?
They don't have the bravery.
Wait, worse, we just let in millions of illegal aliens who are allowed to drunk drive.
Right.
And Biden has told us that drunk driving is not a big deal. It's not
that's a fucking right-wing boomer talking point? That is absolutely true. I live in Florida. We have a lot of Mexicans in Florida. I've personally known many a Mexican to get pulled over. No license.